welcome here today. You are here with Diggy Down Brown, also known as Trucker Brown, also known as being out of town. Listen, I don't want to just beat up on the industry, but we will give a talk about it real quick. According to this article, to me shows the way CDL drivers and truckers, especially OTR truckers, especially in regional people who drive over the road, how they've been mistreated. Yes, how they've been mistreated. I hope y'all got time to run today. Who running? If you running to say I'm running, tell me where you going. How they've been mistreated. Period. The article starts off, says, trucking industry on the verge of a crisis as driver shortage grows. The trucking industry is on the verge of a crisis. Struggling to qualify drivers intensifies. They can't find drivers, man. They can't find drivers. My question is this: why? Why do y'all think? Why y'all think that is? Why? Running North Carolina, I see Fontana, California, Kansas. They can't seem to find drivers. It's impossible. There's nobody who wants to drive. It's the driver's fault that we're in a shortage. First of all, whose fault is it? What's the obvious answer here? Well, right now, it's on a payment. It's not on payment. They're blaming us, the CDL holders, kind of like, nobody really wants to drive. It's, they don't want to do the job. That's the issue. They don't really want to do. Y'all don't want to do the job. It's y'all fault. Y'all don't want to work. You understand that? It has nothing to do with how we treat it. Nothing to do with, predatory lease agreements. It has nothing to do with none of that. It's just we don't want to do it no more, and it's a crisis. It's really becoming a problem in trucking, and it was a pre-existing. The shortage was pre-existing to the pandemic. It's really made things worse for a couple of reasons. Said, I don't know who that is. We didn't have as much testing and education last year. So if drivers weren't getting their CDL license, so we had that going on at the same time. They're saying that the schools weren't open due to the pandemic. And that's why there's no drivers for the seat. No, you've trained enough. You trained millions and millions of drivers to drive, but this is what you did. They drove their first year. You treated them like crap. You didn't pay them anything. And they got out of the game. Not only is this an entry into the game problem, this is a retention problem. How many bad stories can we come up with right now? How many bad stories can we come up with on how you were treated going through trucking school? And then what you were paid after? People make a bunch of money and all the money stays at the top. And here's the thing. There's different industries coming out these days. There's more things for people to do. People are more educated with the internet, and they're not going through the 80s and 90s where dudes just thought this was the only way to make money. That is not the case anymore. People have options. "100% Real" says, Trucker Brown, one of the main reasons with trucker shortages that they want you to have a birth certificate as a piece of ID. I have my birth certificate, but, explain why that's a big issue. And like they say, Fleming, retention is always last on the list. Why don't they talk about it, Michael? You didn't get this shortage just out of nowhere. Come on now. Commercial CNC drivers were leaving the industry because the average age of a commercial truck driver is 55. So a lot of them were at high risk. and they left temporarily, and maybe they didn't come right away. Those two things. Oh, let me put this up so y'all can read it yourself. I may read slow for y'all or something. Didn't come back right away. Those two things combined last year to really exacerbate the existing driver shortage. It's absolutely an issue. You can't find a driver to fill the seat. It does affect a lot of areas of our economy. I think it's going to be a significant at this point time because of the truck driver shortage, and the fact is that some of these companies are having difficult time finding drivers. Okay, can we say the obvious easy fix? Up the wage. Is that not the obvious easy fix? Make it a lucrative thing to get into again. Hmm? Hey, PG Beats. You know that's what it is, right? You know that's what it is, right? Now it's going to become a necessity for the automated truck. Has to be done, or we'll be in grave danger. It's a necessity. Nobody wants to drive trucks no more, so we provided a need. Golden says wage is definitely an easy fix. It's an easy fix, man. Pay the money. Pay the freaking money. What are we talking about here? What are we even talking about? Pay the money. That's how I look at it. Oh, you know that's coming. Yeah, the league definitely they upgrade their stuff. They try to stay ahead of the curve, but we're talking about for the whole country. There's a lot of people still paying that raggedy $400 for training. People can't survive on that. You know, they can't survive on it. And there's people. That's a good question. Israel Montez. How much money is real money? Especially owner operators. What do you mean, especially owner operators? What do you mean, King? Pay more money. Now it's news. It's freaking news now. Y'all don't want to drive. It's y'all fault. Y'all don't want to drive the truck. Y'all don't want to drive the truck. Ain't got nothing to do with how you been treated. Ain't got nothing to do with that. None of that. Y'all do not want to drive the truck. The question is why? Why don't y'all want to drive the truck? Hmm? We need more people teaching the game before they go to CDL school. That could be a fact. But here's a true fact about human nature: people stay where they're wanted. Large trucking companies have a policy of trying to make sure you know you're not important. So people feel like they're not important, they move on. People don't look at it as a scary thing to lose a job. Getting 70 cents a mile right now, solo company. I'm good. Pay more, people stay. Exactly. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. That's how I look at it. Y'all didn't want to pay nobody nothing anyway. That's 400 is because that they think what person needs to just eat. Exactly. It's all about money, period. Exactly. It's all about money. It's about money. Money, 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 money. That's all they want to talk about. Don't talk to them about nothing else. Where's the money at? How can I take all the money? How can I take all the money? That's the big question. It's been a lot of money on the table, and y'all haven't you haven't shared the wealth. So people move on. People freaking move on. That simple. 1 second, y'all. Let me get these out. These out real quick. There we go. Got them out. It's a shame they trick you out of your spot when it comes to detention, layover, etc. They won't pay unless you ask. Busa, of course. You feel like you just feel like you're being shafted at every turn. Why wouldn't someone get out of the industry? It makes people say, "Man, get out of the industry, get out of the industry, get out of the industry, get out of the industry," and people get out. And then you have a shortage of people that aren't stupid enough to do it. They don't got a problem keeping the money for themselves. They do not have a problem keeping the money for themselves. My thing is it a crisis? Is it a crisis? Would be the question. And yes, it's going to be a crisis because it's going to start. It's definitely exploitation. It's going to start affecting prices. And I think that's where they're going to move in for the automated trucks. And if there is a shortage, y'all going to think this sounds weird. Why is that wrong? If no one's willing to drive the truck, then automated trucks need to move in. It is what it is. Automated trucks need to move in. There's no other way to look at it. Medicine got to get moved. Food got to get moved. Hey, man. People are, listen, I've been to places, the younger generation, they're not feeling that trucker lifestyle joint. They're just not, bro. I can go be a coder or be in the computers or something. Why do I got to live that way? These kids are way more, they're way more entitled and spoiled in the past few generations. They're not signing up for that hard life. And why would they? I'm not saying they're wrong for not. Why would they sign up for it? Come on now. Mando. Mando fell on out. Bro, get you gotta get your stuff right. Why would they fall for it? What does the average high schooler say they want to do for a living? Let's figure out what the average high schooler says they want to do for a living. Let's see. What do y'all think it is? The career Chris free. Hold on. So mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Computers, most of them say they want to be an influencer or a YouTuber. Mando,
Yo,
this shortage. What are your thoughts on it?
well, there's definitely an overall shortage
Mm-hmm.
of drivers. They can't get enough people to drive in general,
Right.
but a lot of it, you know, I mean, I came in about 10 minutes late, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've touched on this, but it really comes down to it's a retention issue.
Mm.
The companies, especially the big companies, the Swifts, the Werners, the JB Hunts, the CR Englands, the Night Transportation, the companies that got more than call it 1,000 trucks,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to pay. They don't want to. It's not just that they don't want to pay. It's they don't. There's like a disconnect between them. Oh, how do I put this? Somehow there's a disconnect where they don't understand that it's not just about pay. It's about benefits. It's about profit sharing. It's about 401k.
Mm,
It's about home time.
right.
Now, I'm a firm believer, and I have been very successful in the last 18 months by following your philosophy of stay out as long as humanly possible,
Right.
go home for a little bit, get some time off, decompress, whatever it is you're going to do, ball out, and then get back on the road for a couple of months or however long it is. I'm a firm believer in that, and it's worked for me so far, but I don't have kids. I
Mm,
don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a place. I don't have a car. My cell phone's $100 a month. My hotspot's 50.
mm.
I got food, I got food bills and stuff like that. And granted, I spend a lot of money on food. But, and the other thing too is I'm kind of an outlier because I'm like the epitome of loner.
Right.
I will spend a 34-hour reset or more in the truck, maybe talk to one or two people on the phone, and be happy as a pig in mud.
Mm,
But not everyone's like that. The guys got, they got friends and family, they got places, they got kids, they got relationships, and these companies, the plantation
mm.
is a perfect example of this, CR England. They don't understand that trucking is a good industry to get into. It's a good way to make a lot of money, sometimes six figures, without having to have paid six figures.
Mm-hmm.
But the work life balance is way, way off the scale. It's so out of whack
Right.
that it's just insane. Not everybody's like me where they can spend a whole week not talk to a single person and be happy as a clam.
That's true. That's true. And people go through real depression over stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I did for a little while, back about a month or so ago. I posted a 30-minute rambling video about it on my channel, and then I felt better the next day.
Right.
But some people it'll last weeks, months, years,
Yeah.
decades. I mean, that's why dudes spend thou- thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on lot lizards and escorts.
Woo! And it just opened the door. Hold the phone. We on the escort thing. Listen. At the end of the day, there has to be a demand for it to even exist. So there's a demand for it
Exactly.
in some way, and
Yep.
and so it's one of those situations where, come on, man, come on, you got to know that people are basically sacrificing their life and they're ending up broken sick because y'all are pondering and y'all are plundering all the money at the top. So, but these days people have internet. They're not that, sake of a better word, dumb as are. They're not dumb consumers as the 80s and 90s were. People are very well informed, so they figure, oh, this ain't going nowhere to get out,
Yep.
or they
And
use
then
the
they wonder
money to
why.
start another business or something.
Yeah, and then the companies wonder why they can't keep anybody. Well, it's because you're taking you're taking 80s and 90s business practices and trying to apply it to 2021, 2020, what have you.
Right.
And it doesn't work. It's not working. That's why companies are having to pay ridiculous sign-on bonuses. CR England right now, CR England, they well, I mean they bombard us, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, they sent me an email, text message, and a message on the Qualcomm saying that I could make up to $10,000 to refer one person.
Wow.
If I referred one person with over 1 year of experience, they would pay me $10,000.
Whoa.
But yet they can't pay me more than 39 cents a mile. And I have to blackmail my DMs to get me home for 3 days, not even 4 days, 3 days, once every 6 to 7 weeks.
That's
Now,
nuts.
granted, the account that I run, they did the whole bait and switch thing where it was, oh yeah, you're from Colorado. We run to Colorado all the time. We deliver to Dollar Trees in Colorado all the time. And then I get on the fleet and they're like, oh yeah, there's like 2 Dollar Trees in Colorado we deliver to. And it's like once every 2 months because there's 2 other trucking companies
Right.
on the account.
And see, that's the thing, the trickery and the assumption that we're stupid. It's like, dude, there's way too much information on the internet for you to play 1985 games with me because I can just look it up.
Yeah.
I can just, I'm sure there's a website somewhere that says how many Dollar Trees are in the total state of Colorado and how many people are attached to them. At the end of the day, since your zip code on your account says Colorado, they're just not sending you there. That's the fact. They're just not going to see you
now, and and again, I'm an outlier, but I'm not all that worried about it. You know, because it's like, I've lived in Colorado for over a decade. It's a great state. Love it. They got legal open carry. You just got to not be a felon and a crazy person own a weapon, that kind of stuff. If you make good enough money, rent there isn't too bad. But I don't really care about getting to Colorado because, like I'll take my hometown wherever. Like I'm sitting in Minnesota right now. Just because it's it's cool sitting on this sitting at this truck stop that ain't too bad. But a lot of people, they got houses, they got apartments, they got cars, they got family, they got friends. I got a couple of buddies and stuff like that, but we all got our own lives. Yeah,
but when you try to talk someone into trucking, what do they tell you?
Well, I don't try. I talked to this one chick one time about it, and she was already kind of into doing it,
right?
Because she was asking me questions about it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but see, I'm not a salesman. I told her the down and dirty, the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Said, yeah, you can make a lot of money if you're willing to sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of sleep, relationships. You can see the country from the driver's seat, but you're mostly going to see the country from the interstate.
Right.
It's a good job to have. It's not a bad career. There's worse jobs that you could do. I've done worse jobs. Warehouses. Oh my God. But it's not all roses, rainbows, and ice cream.
So you think there's a really, so the whole saying that we don't want to do it is half the story. Like no one's really talking about the fact that there's a reason drivers are quitting. In this article right here, it says with unheard of growth for online shopping, truck drivers are in high demand. Unfortunately, as more truckers quit their jobs, the industry has a shortage of over 50 to 100,000 drivers with salaries that can reach upwards of 80,000 annually. I like how they throw that 80,000 around like there's not a catch in there somewhere. Plenty of jobs are opening. You would think more people would be looking at truck driving as an excellent opportunity. They don't understand why it isn't. Now, unhappy compensation. Although the salaries can hit to the low six figures, drivers feel this isn't enough to cover the hours of work and stress for the job as well. Although many carriers pay their drivers well, many others are at the other end of the pay scale. This means that the average salary of a truck driver is still $40,000.
Yeah, last year I made 40 grand. Granted, it was my first year, so it is what it is. But I made $40,000, and I mean, here's the thing. I think trucking, outside of like the restaurant industry, trucking is one of the only industries where you can still basically get paid less than minimum wage
Mhm.
for 70 hours of work.
Wow.
When I was training, I trained for, what did I train for? 4 weeks? Yeah. I trained for 4 weeks. I was making $80 a day, driving 9 to 10 hours a day.
Mhm.
That's what, about $8 an hour?
Yeah, if you do the full math, yeah.
Yeah. In Colorado, the minimum wage
It's
in
15.
2020 was 12. I
Mm.
think it might be 14 now, 14 or 15
I
now.
know in the city of Denver, it's 15 in the actual city.
Yeah. Yeah. Where my home address is in Colorado Springs, I think it might still be 12. They might have bumped that up to 13 or 14. But I was making less than minimum wage, working more than some young kid working at McDonald's.
Right, with way more responsibility.
Yeah. We got inspections, we got regulations, we got laws, we've got policies. We got, we can't just be on our phones all day long. We can't, we gotta, we can only drive for a certain number of hours. We gotta be in the sleeper for a certain number of hours,
Right.
this and that and the other thing. And I was making $80 a day. Granted, I wasn't, I didn't have a car and I didn't have a house. I didn't have any of those responsibilities.
Right.
So,
But they don't know that.
it's a trade off. Yeah, they don't know any of that, and nor do they care. And granted, whether or not they should care is kind of up for debate, but it's still, I mean, yeah, guys are tired of doing it. If you got to do something like, what Law does, for example,
Right.
he probably works 13, 14 hours a day.
Yeah,
Granted, he makes a ton of money doing it, but I can guarantee you he wasn't making $80,000, $90,000 in his first year.
probably not.
And he was probably working almost as much as he is now.
And it and
This is,
they're making the profits are so freaking high, dude. The rape. See, the thing is just nothing's true. Everything's a lie half the time. They'll tell you they're gonna do something, they never freaking do it. Your health's going in the freaking toilet. The general respect for what a truck driver does is zero in society. After a while, they just get tired of getting kicked. After a while, a dog gets tired of being kicked. You
yeah,
understand? So if there's 3 houses on a block and at the house it comes from, it gets kicked and hardly fed, and then over there's an old lady that rubs it down and treats it nice, after a while, it's just gonna stay over there. It's gonna go over there. A dog's gonna go where it doesn't get beat in all the time. After a while,
yeah,
y'all are making billions of dollars, and somehow you can't share the wealth. And I understand that the whole thing is to make profit. I get it, but it is our option to just say, I don't want to do it no more. And they're not used to people having that option. They're used to people being uninformed, like you said, from the 80s and 90s, and thinking, this is what I have, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to work 30 years and find my way around it. People aren't doing that no more. People are just quitting and buying vans and living in vans. They're just saying, no, I don't want to do it.
yeah. The era of people working for the same company for 30, 40 years
It's over.
is gone. And a lot of it, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate. Everybody's going to go on my channel and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But
Mm.
A lot of it is because the companies became unfaithful to their employees first. Companies started treating their employees like they were expendable. And so employees responded by treating the companies like they were expendable. And now everybody's running around with a surprised Pikachu face going, "What happened? Nobody wants to work for our company for 20 years." Well, it's because you treat them like trash. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that you could retire from a company for after 20 years with a pension. A good example, my dad worked in IT for about 20 years. He was in the Navy doing IT stuff back in the 80s.
Wow.
So, we'll count that as well. So it was probably about 30 years worth of his life was IT. And he worked at a company that processed insurance claims. And he was a manager on their help desk. He was there for 16 years. Yeah, about 16 years. They automated a bunch of stuff, including their help desk, tossed him out on his ass, $96,000 a year job, tossed him out on his ass, gave him 6 months of free unemployment, a what do they call that? Compensation package or whatever it is of like $40,000, a good reference, and said, "Okay, bye. Your position has become irrelevant, and we don't need you anymore.
Figure it out.
So have a good one." Yeah, and he was, he retired. He's retired already. But he after that, it was like, what what's the point? When I found out when he had told me that they let him go,
Right.
that was at that point that I decided that I was never going to put my life, blood, sweat, and tears
Into someone else's
into a company. Yeah, into a company that would replace me in 15 minutes if I died. If I die in this truck tomorrow, because I got the fat man's disease, so anything can happen. If I die in this truck tomorrow, they'll get somebody to come out here and recover it.
Yes, they will. They pay good for that.
And then they'll put somebody back into it in 2 weeks.
Facts.
Guaranteed.
And if you think about it, if you die tomorrow, if you're talking about a CR England, each school, they have 3 or 4, is passing 50, 60 people a week. So you've been replaced. If you've been at the place for 16 months, you've been replaced 100,000 times before you quit or die anyway.
Yeah. They're just waiting for you to kick the bucket or say, screw this, and they're done.
They're done. So what was the point? I want to touch on the thing that you said before. There's no reason to give your heart and soul and blood, sweat, and tears to any of these companies. See, I'm old enough. I'm not that old, but I am old enough. 1 second. Curtis hit the PayPal for $10, man. Appreciate you. I didn't know it is a different type of thing, Curtis. I didn't see it. But I remember when they would give Christmas bonuses. That was a thing. They gave free turkeys out on Thanksgiving. I mean, there were so many perks to being a hard worker when you go back in time and look at like the labor law, history of labor in America. There was a bunch of perks. Turkeys. You get Christmas bonuses. It was people used to buy all of their Christmas gifts with that Christmas bonus. All of them. With that, granted, it probably wasn't the most money in the world, but I mean, it was a lot compared to them. Usually, it was like a week worth of work type of check. But they would give the Christmas bonus. Now it's none of that's going on. Then, like you said, the pensions are freaking gone. That's why I tell you, I say truckers die sick and broke, but the truth is Americans die sick and broke. Period.
Yeah.
His dad did the IT
Overworked,
thing.
underpaid.
Did the IT thing. You know, I remember in 2003. I don't know if you remember this, man. Though, in 2003, you couldn't turn on the TV without that guy yelling at you about IT jobs. He
Oh
would
yeah.
yell at you. That was exactly 18 years ago. Oh, don't you get the IT
Hmm.
job? Come here, be an IT specialist. That was everywhere.
Yep. And
It was
everybody could do it, and all it took was like 6 months, maybe a certification or two, and you were making 50, 60, $70,000 with unlimited upward growth.
right.
And now it's like, oh well, you got to have a 4-year degree, and you got to have 6 certifications that cost 20 grand. Oh, and you got to have 5 years experience.
And
But
no,
we really don't want to hire anybody who's older than 40 because they're already set in their way. So we're trying to, we're trying to find somebody who's 20 years old who's been doing IT for 4 years and has a 4-year degree, who
right.
spent over $100,000 and somehow got a, good old boy recommendation. And it's like, they're looking for unicorns
They're looking for
to
people with
sling dirt.
experience. They're looking for people with experience who are not used to making money that will take that 45. At the end of the day, your dad's going to get replaced because he's too valuable.
Mm-hmm.
He costs too much money. He's getting $37 an hour when I can hire some freaking snob kid for $21 an hour, and he think he hit the mother load.
Yeah. Or a good example. I think was it last year? It was last year when you were looking into going local there in
Right.
Vegas, and you put out that live on that company that wanted to pay you, what was it, $9 an hour to test drive cars,
Right.
and they were trying to get truck drivers in to do that. I'm like, they might as well have just slapped you on the face and told you to bend over.
Yeah. And
They
tell me.
probably would have gotten you in the door better that way.
And then they tell you basically what they're telling you, your past experience and help to the country, because we're supposed to be the lifeblood of the country. Your past experience means nothing. It means absolutely. Trucking is the main place where your experience means you can get the job, but it doesn't affect what you pay once you get it. So, okay, we don't hire nobody unless they have 3 years experience. I got 9. All right, well, this is what people start with. No, hold on. But I have 9 years. I have more than everybody else. So it doesn't matter. We always start people here. It's
Yeah.
like, then what is the point of me even saying I got 9 years, 8 years experience if it means nothing to you? Oh, well, that's one of the reasons we picked you. You picked me, but you're not giving me no benefit to the experience that you wanted. You're just getting the benefits of me being experienced, and you're not giving nothing towards it. So, I mean, people are coming in at 20, should not come in at 22, 24, something? No. We start people here all across the board.
Yeah. And then every 3 months or every 6 months, we'll give you a 2-cent raise, but we'll make you work your ass off for it. And oh yeah, we got bonuses, but you got to hit 100,000 points, and God forbid you're half a second late. There
Right.
goes your detention pay. Yeah, we pay $50 an hour detention pay, but if you're half a second late, you ain't getting none of it.
Yeah. It's just another way for them to take in profit. So what should we take from this, from the people watching you thinking, okay, I may get in trucking? This is why they have a shortage, but this is what you need to do. You need to come in the truck and figure out to make the most money as possible you can make and set your life up doing something else. That's why I tell you the main thing you need to do in trucking is learn something else. That's the main move. You should be in your truck trying to learn something else.
Yep. Jimmy, it's, and again, helping me get the drip. When you were, every time you said that, I'm like, this guy's talking. He's talking truth. Like, I don't. some of the jigabooing that goes on some of the coon scoping that goes
Right.
on in the trucking industry, especially the YouTube sphere. Like a lot of that stuff. The trucker named Jay and all that other stuff. I caught a little bit of it on a couple of your lives and whatnot, mostly on the replays because
Mhm.
they're slave labor over here at Dollar Tree. But
Yeah.
it and like I don't pay attention to hardly any of that. The only reason I knew any of that existed was because I
That's
follow you. And
right.
you're pretty much the only you're pretty much the only YouTube trucker I follow. There's a couple of channels that I'll watch and whatnot. And I'm not brown nosing or nothing, but it's just there's too much BS. There's so much BS.
For
I'd
nothing
rather
information, just information that's just mind fat. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I'll sit down. I got a couple of YouTube channels that I watch that are just about like history
Mm.
and biographies of people,
Right.
historical figures, all that stuff. That's what I listen to. There's a couple of tech YouTubers that I listen to and watch and learn from. It's like you said, yeah, you want to learn something else.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
may not make you as much money when
Mhm.
you get out of the trucking industry, but at least it will make you something without having to go back into some, I hate to say it because I'm blue collar, but some bullshit ass blue collar job. Blue collar should not be something that you do until you're 50.
Mm. You 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 just swinging for the fences today here, man. Don't
Yeah. No, I'm firmly blue collar right now.
Right.
Absolutely. 100% blue collar. I work for my money.
Mhm.
I'll post videos if anybody doesn't understand that. I will
Right.
post videos of what I do, time lapses. But I don't want to be doing it when I'm 50 years old. I got about 20 years left until I hit 50, and
Mhm.
I don't want to be doing it. I,
Because
I just I
you know
don't.
it's a thankless job. Why would you? First of all, the state of your health, if you stay in here for 20 years, it will be in shambles if you make it. You'll be full-fledged diabetic. You'll have the swollen ankles, you'll have all that, and then they'll just spit in your face after you've sacrificed all of that. It is so sad to see these guys walking into the truck stop and they have completely sacrificed their health. And first of all, once they find out that these people have these health problems, they should be cycling them out of the OTR. They will let you just drive yourself to death
Oh yeah, and make no money doing it.
and make no money doing it. You're just freaking running in place. And if you're one of those people who thought it was a good idea to buy a house while you're OTR or driving a truck, you're stuck, man. You're freaking
Yep.
stuck. That note doesn't stop for 30 years, bro. Your body can barely do 15 in the seat. And some of you know how to do nothing else. Nothing else. You didn't even research something else to do. So if you were to stop, you'll be starting from ground zero on what I should be doing with myself. You need to be thinking about that. The day they give you your CDLs, you need to be thinking about what am I going to do when this is over? Because one day it will be over. There's three ways it's going to be over. Either your mind's going to get fed up and you're just going to stop doing it. Your mind's going to get fed up or it's just going to stop doing it. Or your health is just going to be like, yeah, you quit because now you can't get your health card. So you're just done.
Mhm.
Or you're going to crash out.
Literally. Yep.
And that's just a roll of the dice. Every day you start the truck, something stupid can happen and you can lose your job. You can just be driving down the street and just somehow the truck flips, the right weather, the right patch of ice, and you're done. You immediately stop making money.
Yep. And you're done. And you're just flat out done. Assuming that you're still free after that.
Right. Yeah, you're not
Because
in
they'll find
jail.
every excuse to lock you up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
They'll,
you get you get rear-ended by somebody and they die, it's automatically your fault, even if it's not. Even if they
right.
later prove that it isn't, it's still going on your CSA.
Yeah, it's gonna show up that it happened.
Yep.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Go on. that's why I tell people, man, hey, dude, learn something. Please learn something else, man. Learn something else. I'm not telling you to get out of the truck. I'm not telling you to do any of those things. Learn something else. Learn it to do. It could be IT. It could be computers. It could be crane operator. It could be anything, dude. Once you have a CDLs, do you understand that 90% of the freaking the crane operating and train operating unions will hire you on the spot. On the spot. They will hire
And
you
that's
on the
usually a
spot.
thing where you got to know somebody to get in too.
Right. But they know that your lease can learn heavy equipment if you got a CDL class A. They will hire you on the spot. A lot of things open up. Greyhound, freaking train conductors who haul the freight, freaking Amtrak. Learn something else, man, and what you'll find out over there is you probably won't make as much as you would owner op in OTR or something. You won't be making these $5,000 checks, but you will have a better life balance, as Mando was saying, which if you're starting young, you don't care about, but you will soon enough. It will matter to you soon enough.
Yep. I got a buddy of mine. He drove for about 2 years. He's about my age, 29, 30. And he just got out of it last year. He said, I'm done. And he he was smart about it. His father-in-law started up a ammunition business
Mm,
where they load and sell ammunition. And of course, given the political climate, that's one of the businesses to be in right now.
yeah, guns are selling
And
out.
he made $140,000 last year, and he doesn't even own the business. But he got smart, did his 2 years, made some good money doing it, got some good management experience, learned about the ammunition business and all the details and nitty gritty about that, and he got the hell out, and he is loving it. Matter
Mm.
of fact, I might just go work for him now. $22 an hour, start me out $22 an hour, and I could probably do all their IT stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's something to be said about small companies. I'm not going to act like there's nothing to be said about those, but you know, the people I see winning are the people who are in small companies that are not in trucking. Like when you go to, I don't know how many jobs you've had, Mendo, but you go to some company that provides pipes for the oil field, and there's this small company, and all they got is this steel building, and they're just living the freaking dream, and they're working for a small company, and there's a guy there that finds different places to sell it to. Then there's a dude who does commute. There's so many things that you could be doing. You could be learning. You are in a truck for 11 hours, driving in one direction and saying you're bored. And I would say 80% of online schools are just listening to videos. That's
Yeah.
80% of it. You listen to a
Yeah.
video and quiz. That's pretty much online schooling.
Yep.
It's that freaking simple. It's not hard to do. It's not complicated to do. It's not. Hold on one second, Mando, real quick. Steve Carson, what do you have to say about the subject? Please do not cuss.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. I was trying to mute my thing so I could catch up on what y'all was talking about. I'm just joining. My fault.
Okay, you good. Just hit the private chat if you got something to say.
All right, thank you.
It's one of those things where you want to learn something else, and I scream this from the rooftops, and I hope that the people that watch me are the most informed. If you run around and you think that the whole thing you should be listening to is whoever buys trucks, or what company pays the most, Because some people think I can just switch companies on my way to $100,000, which is just not freaking true. They think that talking about lanes and brokers is going to get them to the promised land. It's just not going to, bro. It's not. It's not going to. Half of the time, and this is going to make people mad, is who you know.
Yep.
Half of the time, these good situations that a lot of people are in, this is who they know. It's flat
those
out.
guys running around in super sleepers and they're hauling 26,000 pounds in the box, but they're making $10,000 a week. It's who they know.
It's who they know.
It's relationships.
That's
really all it is anymore.
Oh, they work hard to get there. They probably worked hard before, but no, they didn't. They know somebody. Because those freaking type of accounts are guarded fiercely, and they're word of mouth in that joint. So it's like somebody I know says, "Hey, man, do you know somebody up there in Colorado that could run glass from Colorado to Vegas? I pay him $4 a mile. Woody woody woo." And I say, all right, I know a dude named Mando. He do it. How long he been driving? A year. All right, man, give him my number. That's exactly how that joint happens. That's exactly how it happens. And then Mando goes over there and makes a bunch of money. But since Mando is a grimy trucker, he sits around on these things saying like he's a super trucker and he knows how to get those contracts. Not saying that his buddy just plugged him in.
Yeah. And half the time, the trucks that run those like crazy good contracts that run that kind of freight, you don't even know what company it is because they'll put their DOT numbers
and that's it
on the truck, and that's it. Or like it'll have some random company name that you go to look for them, and it just says, "Oh, they're a
CDI, CDI Transcorp." You're like, what is that?
Yeah, and you go to look it up. Oh, it's a single operator company. It's an LLC. So there's no information on it. Nobody knows anything about it.
It got about 15 trucks, and they're making $2 million a month or something stupid.
Yeah.
And you get in, and you technically you're making a bunch of money. You're still kind of getting screwed, but it's so much money. They don't have any other extra things that they don't have help with anything. They don't have any back office. They don't have none of that. You don't even got to train when you go there because they don't have a person there to do training. It's just a bunch of money flying around. And these people work these joints to save up, but they will come to you and act like, oh, I got here because I know what I'm doing. No, you did not. No, the freak you did. Now, some people did. A lot of the least people we know who started at like the league and went over to certain places and built their truck. They got there by doing what they were supposed to do. They worked hard. They saved their money. They went and bought trucks. When you talk to that one super trucker who's making a ridiculous amount of money, dude, he knows somebody. He just got in. That's just simply what it is, man.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. What, Sasha? I'm about to block you. I don't know what you're talking about. That has nothing to do with the conversation. Yeah, you're talking about some. No, I can't even have those type of words in my comments. I don't even want them in my comments. 1 second there, Mando. 1 second. Trevor, we can't hear you. Oh, no sound, buddy. No sound. We just see you, man. We don't hear you. Nah, you got to come back in, man. Remember, no cussing when you come in. No cussing when you come in. Messington, no cussing. What's up?
Ain't this about a mother? Like, no.
and that's exactly how they do you. That's how they do you.
No, did you see that message I had attached to that PayPal?
No, I did not. I did not see that because it comes in a weird notification. I actually get it through the email. Oh, here you go. They need to increase the per diem 100 a day, and transaction detail So yeah, so you're saying they need to increase the per diem?
Yeah, I think that's one place that would be a good start. To increase it to $100 or more per day.
And you think that would help with the
I'm
hiring
no,
gap?
it's not. No, I don't think it's going to completely alleviate the shortage. I mean, because there are shortages everywhere. I mean, the logistics industry is that's not just unique to the logistics industry.
Right.
I mean, that's in the medical field as well. So it's not nothing that's foreign. Um, but I think that would be the repertoire, um, you know, in regards to making the whole industry better. Um, there's a
Hmm.
lot of regulation in this industry, so I think there's a way that some of those things can be revised as
Right.
well. So I don't think there's one solution, one blanket solution. I think it's a bunch of little things that can alleviate that issue, and even still, it won't completely alleviate it altogether.
So do you think that the way they treat the drivers in retention has something to do with it?
Yeah, it has a role, has its factor. Like I say, it's just a bunch of different things. It's not just one thing.
It's not just one thing. So what are the bunch of
Correct.
different things, messing things? You know that your politician dance with me right now. What are give me four things that it is.
Okay, so obviously, um, retention. We've already said that compensation, so wages,
Right.
benefits, um, work-life balance. I think we've pretty much, hit a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then number five, health. I mean, health is really important too because they don't incentivize healthy drivers.
True.
Industry wide, that's not just a company thing. All the way from pilot, not even having like a salad bar or like other types of options,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the companies.
Do you think that truckers really know what people in other industries get? Like do they really know how cool the workplace is at Google?
No, I think it's public knowledge, but it's also a well kept secret.
Mm,
Like we know of you know the benefits and how like Google employees get like super. I think they get like 2 or 3 months off for like for what is that FMLA, like maternity and paternity leave.
right.
Like those are the things that um makes a company unique in what it does. But that's what makes working for Google, aka Alphabet Company, I guess the thing better.
Right. Well, they first of all they don't wear any suits coming into work. They sit on bean
Right,
bags. They come in when they want. They have the paternity and maternity, meaning the men get off when they have a kid as well. They of
right,
course the pay is good. Upward mobility. Um, 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 they're the forefront of new inventions. Stock options. There's a
right,
lot of things these people get. Now, don't get me wrong. That coding thing, a lot of them are getting grueling workloads too. I've been looking that up. That it's not all peaches and cream as people try to make it. They,
right.
they
I
get
mean, there's a lot of fatigue that they get from literally staring at a screen for you know 8 hours a
18
day or
hours,
higher.
right?
Right,
And they say that as soon as they finish a project, boom, another one right there. Boom, another one right there. It's to the point where they're just they burn out too. They burn out and they just like what I need to go do something else with my time because this never is never ending. So they burn out, but at the same time, they still have that only for the elites. Ghostface says they only have that only for the elites. Well, I don't know
right.
elites in trucking that have it.
And I think, oh my God, who did I was listening to somebody who said, and it might have been Dean or a combination of a bunch of people that I listen to, because I listen to a lot of business minded and personal development people. But in the real estate arena, they always say whenever you come to the table, as far as like a deal or a property or something, always have an exit plan. Always have an exit strategy. And that's and I think y'all hit on that earlier. That's important to have, not in just, being a truck driver or being in the logistics industry, but with any job. It's important to know that, hey, this is what I'm going to do for this amount of time, and this is what I'm going to learn while I'm doing it, and apply this knowledge to fund whatever else it is that I want to do. Like, I had made a post on my Facebook page like 2 or 3 days ago,
Mhm.
and it was an article on the Guardian, I think, and they were talking about this how the Social Security, how people who get Social Security checks, like this lady was only getting like $700 a month, and she had to work at Walmart, to make up that difference in income and what she was missing out on. And I made a post like, bro, this is what awaits us. Like, this is what's awaiting millennials right now. When we get their age, this is what's awaiting us.
Yeah.
Like, so if y'all are at a point where y'all are not putting money away, dude, you're fucked.
F
Oh,
bomb.
I'm sorry. My fault. I forgot. Sorry.
When you let Lexington in your jeez, Louise.
I sent you a PayPal.
No,
My
$10
fault.
ain't enough cuss words, bro. Come
no,
on.
it'll be Jesus. It'll be more than that. I got
Always gonna be.
I got a
more
dog and a little goldfish to feed. No,
There we go.
but yeah, we gotta. You have to be mindful of your exit strategy and what you're gonna do when you're not doing what you're doing.
Yeah, you do. You have to understand that these things are going to add up and they are going to matter. Let me see what Trevor had to say, man. I think he fixed his phone. Trevor, you fixed? There you go.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, you're good to go now.
All right. I'm trying out this new internet before I put everyone onto it.
Hold on. Yeah, you seem clear.
All right. Yeah, I'm in the middle of Nebraska and Wyoming, and I'm still unlimited, no throttle data. So far, it's working good. I'll put people on it after another week of testing.
Thank you, sir. Will, I would love to do a video and see how good it does. But what do you think about the subject we're talking about now? If you've heard it.
Yeah, trucker shortage, I think it's just a scare tactic. They've been saying there's a trucker shortage since like 1982.
Really?
Where's Papa Bear at? Ask him.
Yeah, he's probably working somewhere. I haven't spoken to him in a week. I probably need to call him. The bad son.
That's just something mega carriers put out there and stuff just to scare people so they can capture a larger portion of the market.
So you
go ahead.
So you feel like it boosts their enrollment when they do that?
Yeah, because they'll be like, "Oh, we're in a trucker shortage. We'll give you $5,000 to come work for us," and everyone thinks that's good. It's just another way, because if we had a trucker shortage right now, if I called a broker, I said, "All right, I'll haul your load for $10 a mile,"
right?
They would say, "Oh, thank you for being reasonable." That's when you know you have a real shortage crisis, when you can name any rate you want and you get it. I try to get them to come up 20 cents on a mile now. We can't do it for that.
Which shows you they have options.
Yeah. And like, you can't buy a trailer right now. You can't buy a truck right now, because as soon as one gets built, it's already bought.
So you saying there's no shortage at all? It's all malarkey.
That's what I think about it. A trucker shortage would be the best thing for me right now. I wish we were in a crisis.
Hold on one second. It's one of those things where people will try to say and do anything to make some money. So
yeah,
I don't. Let's see if it's a shortage. I think there's maybe I think people are getting less willing to lay down and just take whatever a company gives them. But like I said, you have the internet, and people read and they listen to the internet. Like, I got options. I really don't have to sit here and deal with it. I don't have to sit here and deal with this bad treatment from the office. And they just, they just switch and they move up unless they're expecting them to. I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if there's an exact shortage. I feel like if there is an exact shortage, then hey man, y'all deserve it. If there is. Y'all
Yeah,
deserve
there might be for the mega carriers, but they make up such a small portion of the available workforce. Let them hurt. The more they hurt, the more we make.
right. That's a fact. Hold on. One second. Now are people still getting in here? 1 second. You gotta check something here. Something's off. Okay. Yeah, because it's one of those situations where you gotta focus on what you're supposed to do. I see 95 cents a mile as a driver, not owner operator. Something is going on. I'm going back. I drove over 2 years ago. Took off 10 months. It's a tug of war. 1 second, you got background noise. It's a tug of war between real experienced drivers wanting what they're worth and desperate people who will take anything just to have a job. That's a pretty... Christopher Hill says that. And he says, ain't no shortage. Ain't no.
Every single trucking school right now is filled up to capacity. Try to get in trucking school next week. They'll probably tell you, well, we can get you in a month. It's
That's due
like,
to the pandemic, though, right? Because they weren't in business for a while. So that's due to the pandemic, isn't it?
yeah, that's probably due to that. But like when I got in, I applied for my trucking school in August of 2019. They didn't have an available seat until October, and there was 12 people in a class and 4 classes at a time. So every week, what's that? 48 new people every week, and that's just one small trucking school in Charlotte.
How many of those trucking students stay even a year? I don't know that percentage, man.
I don't know.
But my thing is, if they do leave, it's because somewhere in their gut they're figuring out that, hey, man, this isn't for me. They're switching. Someone's giving them a better deal. Trucking companies poach drivers from each other all the time. It is what it is. It's just part of the business. I know that I feel like there should be no CDL driver running around here under $60,000 a year. That's what I think. I think it's criminal. It's criminal.
That's true.
It should be 60 and up walking in the door. Period.
I think if you got more than 2 years and you're still at a mega carrier, you're a failure.
Whoa! Hold on.
You're doing the game wrong.
Trevor, what are you talking about? How did you?
Because at 2 years experience, you should be making at least or netting at least 120 a year. You're not going to do that at a mega.
Wow, I don't know. I mean, I know people at the league that do 150, bro.
They're leased on, or are they in the eight team or whatever they call it?
They're leased on, yeah, and in the 18.
Yeah.
Some of them are in the 18. Yeah.
I'm talking more along 40 cent a mile, 45 cent a mile company drivers. You could do a lot better for yourself.
Highway Journey, you're more than welcome to call in. She's not agreeing with you here, Trevor.
Well, she doesn't have to, but that's the thing about opinions.
Everybody,
Is she coming in?
I don't know if she's driving or not. She thinks that that's a lie.
Look,
Mm.
if you're fine with making pennies on your time, then there's nothing I can say to that. But
Right. That's
you
your
could be making 3 times as much as you're making at 2 years in, doing
option.
about just anything else besides driving for Swift or CR England or
You
the Celadon went out. Like, do better for yourself than that.
good gracious. Listen, people, first of all, I want to say this is Trevor saying, this is not my saying. He said that. Let's put him on big screen and let him explain himself. First of all, I didn't say that. This guy right here, he said,
Me.
let's repeat what he said. He said that if you're at a mega carrier for over 2 years, it's dumb and you're a failure. That's what he said.
And that's the hard truth.
Craig Savage says, how much you make a year?
I'm expected to gross 330,000 this year.
Woo! Trevor saying he getting money.
I gross $1,000 a day. I don't drive for less than 1,000 a day.
Wow. Hold on, Trevor. I gotta let people rebuttal to you here. Let me slide you into the queue for a second, okay? Because you dropped the bomb in the room,
Okay.
and we gotta deal with it. First of all, you come in here, no cussing, insubordinate, and churlish. You understand that? No cussing. You come in here. This is his opinion. He's allowed to have one. I'm not going to, knock his opinion. This is his. They say Trevor just turned the conversation up a degree. When a company is paying 46 cents a mile and you're governed at 65 miles per hour, unless you're running a team, you're losing. Hard truth. Agree with Trevor. That comes from Christopher Hill, who dropped $5 in the super chat. Wow. Wow, jeopardizing your health. Highway Journey, I got the link sent to you if you want to come in and rebuttal what he said. Craig says, Gold, I need this job. Win Lambo, he getting bread. Two Fly says, oh, y'all didn't know that Trevor stay getting money. Listen, Mando, you didn't do it. I'm not gonna blame it on you, but the room just got blown up.
Yeah, I can see that. Damn.
What is your view on what Trevor just dropped in the room?
Well, as a current slave to the plantation, a large part of me agrees with him because we're doing a lot.
Right.
Like we were talking earlier, we do a lot. Now, my thing is the amounts that he's talking about. I don't know if 120 after your second year is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say for certain. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna back this up. I don't 100% agree with him on the whole. If you're at a company for more than 2 years, right, like a mega carrier, then you're losing. Because I know a couple of company guys at my company that have been doing this, been at this company, started at the company, and have been here for 9-10 years,
Right.
that are making $100K a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, they're training, teaming.
True.
Which that has its own set of dangers and issues. It's been proven that your sleep
Mm.
is not as good when the truck is driving.
Fact.
So you're putting your health in jeopardy by doing that, no matter how rested you feel.
Right.
Which is why I don't team,
Mm.
because I can't sleep when the truck is running, when it's rolling. I can't. I'll get about 2 hours at a time, and that's worse than having a variable sleep schedule.
Fact.
What I do agree with him on is that you should be making way more after your first year when you're driving.
But you don't think that everybody they're not failures. You don't think that. Yeah.
No, I don't think you're a complete failure. I mean, if that's the case, then
But you said complete.
I'm
man.
a failure. And
you said complete, man.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I don't agree with that, because there's failure and success is mostly relative.
Yeah. Right. Because there's a buddy on the
I'm
street that feels successful.
yeah. I'm 18 months in,
Mhm.
almost 18 months in to my driving career.
Right.
My credit is 300 points higher than it was when I started.
Right.
I have money in the savings account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating good food. Lots of good food. I'm eating, or not eating. I've got some nice gadgets that I've never had before. I don't have any bills.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a place to sleep every night. I have AC. I got water. I got drinks. I got food.
Mm-hmm.
I got internet. Not always good. I've got all that stuff, and got no kids, so no child support, no baby mama issues, no wife nagging me, no girlfriend nagging me. When you gonna come home? When you gonna come home? We miss you. We want
Right.
we want that money, but we want your time. So I think I'm winning right now. Now, I'm not at the finish line by
Right.
any means, but I'm doing pretty good compared to what I was doing about 2 years ago.
What were you making 2 years ago?
Like 32,000.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, you took a considerable jump.
Yeah, I was 32,000. Hated my job.
Right.
I worked in the call center, so I was white collar as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of white collar jobs, they got like sick time and call in policies and stuff like that.
Right.
And like that would always be the first thing that I would figure out is what's their call in policy? How far can I push this before they say no, screw you, get out?
Right.
How many days can I not come to work that I'm supposed to before they tell me to not come to work ever again?
Oof.
I was driving a busted up Grand Am, like we were talking last night.
Mhm.
I got a car. I got a $1,500 car for $4,200 it was $5,800 from one of the buy here, pay here places, $250 a month for 2 years.
Right.
Barely scraping by on rent. And I was living in one of them not studio, but like one of them efficiency apartments.
Right.
Where like the whole apartment has 2 doors, one for the bathroom, one for the front.
Wow.
Christ.
With a girlfriend who she had some health issues, so she wasn't always working all the time. And we were barely scraping by. I was smoking the drugs because I hated my life.
My gosh, man! I know you
I'm surprised I didn't pop out a kid.
Because there was a lot of drug and humping going on.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah, a lot of alcohol consumption.
But this is my thing, Mendo. Hold on, I got Phil in here, so I gotta let him go. But Trevor's making 300,000.
Trevor is a unicorn.
Now, Phil, you're here. I bid you adieu. I thank you for coming in because I didn't know where you was earlier. I'm like, where's Phil at?
Yeah, I'm on them reefer hours, man. You know how crazy that get.
Listen, you want them big bucks, man. You got to mess up the sleep schedule. That's a fact.
Big facts.
Did you hear the bomb Trevor dropped?
No, please enlighten me real quick.
I'll let Trevor re-say it. Trevor, can you re-say it for me, please?
Yeah, if you got 2 years of experience and you're still a company driver at a mega carrier, you're failing. You're playing this game wrong.
Whoa. Wait a
I'll back
minute.
Trevor out real quick because he just dropped the bomb again. Yeah.
Wow. Well, first off, Trevor, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're back in the streets. But secondly, dude, are you serious?
He's dead serious. It's dead serious.
Oh my God. See, okay. Well, we gotta break this down.
Yeah,
So
take your time.
So the thing about success and failure, in my perspective, it is relative to your level of contentment and happiness, right?
Sure.
So because we all know guys that have become company drivers, and that's just what they did for the 15 years or 20 years that they drove. They
Right.
went to a company, they were happy, their ends were made, and that's what they did. Or just because they may not have chosen to do so otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
But in other cases, for those of us who have higher aspirations, whether it be to continue on in this industry or to grow to do something else, I could see why he would say that. But to say such a astronomical number at 2 years in is kind of a stretch to me.
So you think it's just not realistic?
No, not unless you're like I said, a unicorn like him, or maybe something like like a Loshawn, where you just went for it out the gate. That's a
Right.
really high risk move, but
Yeah.
not many people are seeing that kind of money even 5 years in. That's not an easy number to hit necessarily. I mean, it's a great milestone because once you hit it, it's like, okay, money just becomes relative. But
Right. Everybody's not a Loshawn either. I keep telling
right,
you're not. Just because he did it don't mean you're going to be capable of doing it.
exactly. Like that's a very disciplined man. Like those are kinds of things like he has. I mean, not to throw him out there, but he has like military background. He's
Right.
structured. He had specific numbers in mind he wanted to hit, and he's very much so a locked in person to hit those numbers. So if you're
Right.
not going to be that level of discipline to where you're down to the penny counting things
Right.
in terms of budgeting and hitting certain milestones and targets and goals and saving, you're never going to see those kind of numbers consistently. I mean, now you may chance up and hit it one good time and be like, oh snap, I made 120,000. Next
Right.
thing you know, you scaled up your lifestyle 25%, and now you're having a hard time seeing that kind of number again.
Hold on. Let's see. Trevor, I think Phil got you in a corner here because we've seen you scale up your lifestyle a few times here, brother. You got the new bike that was 70,000. You got all this new stuff.
Yeah.
Is he right about that?
Well, I went home for what, 15 days? It ended up being, and I spent $30,000.
Good
Gee.
Lord, Trevor.
Nice.
But I'm still in the situation. If my turbo went out and I threw a rod, I could put a new engine in this truck.
Cash.
Yes.
Yeah, I will give it to Trevor. He even though he's definitely upped his lifestyle since this new venture, he is a relatively wise man when he comes to managing his money. I will give him credit for that.
But Trevor, you really think that they're failures though?
Yes. Because
So you're not just saying that to blow the room up. You truly believe that?
I believe they could do better if they had the knowledge and the drive to do better. Yes.
Hold on.
That is definitely a key point. Knowledge, and in this industry, who definitely makes a difference in that realm.
Hold on, Trevor. Hold on 1 second. Jeez Louise. Hold on. Ugh. First of all, let's show love to the people who hit the Cash App who are supporting this content. There's 208 people in here watching total. So obviously the conversation is something you want to hear. Please support channels that give you the real and have conversations that help you think. Jennifer Journey sent 20 to the Cash App. Boosa sent to the Cash App. Ronald Gordon showed support to the Cash App. Von Cobb, my guy, shows love to the Cash App. Says realest trucker on YouTube. No kizzy. That means no cap for the Ebonic illiterate. Real quick, Phoenix. Now you must have a contrary belief to Trevor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That cricket mobile.
Oh boy.
That dirty cricket done got. Come on now, man. You muted yourself. Unmute yourself. I'll
I'll
let
say
him.
just to give some perspective of what people usually see in their second year. Now, me, I took a special kind of abuse, so my numbers are a little skewed on the getting took side. But
Right.
I only saw a quarter of that in my second year. It was in the low 40s, 2 years out of school. Now, granted, I didn't do it the right way because I didn't know no better, and I didn't have the guidance back then that I have now.
Right.
But yeah, my second year, I made 42,000.
Yeah. Hey, man. I think I made my first year. I made 40, 45, 48. Next year, I probably almost scraped 60. And then when I met Low and he started pushing the lease thing, which I denied first, his advice jumped me from that to 120. Like I say, I give people their roses regardless of agreement at the time. It's just the flat out truth. Hold on real quick. Giant, I got you. Give me a second. Phoenix.
Yeah, what's good with you, man? Having issues going through Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, you gonna have them going through there, man. Listen, real quick while we got you. Trevor says if you're with a mega carrier longer than 2 years, you're a failure.
See, I've been at the mega carrier for 18 months now, so I guess I got 6 months till I'm a failure now, ain't I?
Six months to you're a failure, buddy. He says
Hey,
you could do better.
I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good, even considering my first year. I ain't gonna say what I made my first year because it hurt some feelings, but at the same time, when it comes to success and failure, as an old dude said not too long ago, that's all relative, man. At the end of the day, when you look yourself in the mirror, can you honestly say you are where you said you wanted to be? That's the only thing that matters. There's a lot of
Mm,
people at the league who are happy that's been there 5, 10 years. Are they all
fact.
failures? If you take into consideration they're happy and content with what they have going on, that's the only thing
Mm,
that really matters. But to say you're a failure if you stay at a mega carrier longer than 2 years because you yourself wouldn't, I think is foolish. I have no beef with you, Trevor. I just don't, I don't agree with that statement.
mm. Ken Goldfini says usually came in with the most intelligent way to debunk a thought. I listen. I'm not going to say how I feel yet to the end. I'm not going to say how I feel yet. 1 second. Giant has been waiting. 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Giant, I can hear you, buddy.
All right, awesome. All right, so someone said earlier about JB Hunt being one of those mega carriers that sucks, doesn't pay well.
Yes, please. No cuss words, but yes, please.
Yeah, I just said sucks, so that's bad. My bad. It
No, no, sucks is
doesn't.
not
I
bad.
mean,
I just wanted to remind you just in case it
yeah.
slipped out when you got your thing
I
on.
mean,
Keep going.
I've been here for what 8 weeks now, and I can talk about my pay stubs. I'm on one of the dedicated because all they do now is dedicated and local work. All their
Mm-hmm.
OTR is owner operators or lease people. Everything else is dedicated. So all their company guys are supposed to be 6 months or more experience. I know that's base to base if they need drivers. But in 8 weeks, I made 14,000 gross and 10,000 take home. If you do the math,
Mm.
that's 1750 a week gross. How is that not good for a
That's
company driver?
that's a change because it was not like that when I was there.
I
I'm
mean,
angry now, like,
I
bruh.
don't know. Maybe I'm on a good account. I mean, I don't want to say the account, but just I don't want to get in trouble. Just someone's trying to.
No,
I mean, I
you're
could even
good.
take a picture of like the workday app and all that, and like send it to you, PB, because like hearing that, like it set me off because like my 401k is also at a 10% match. If I put in like what 6%, they match. They put in 4, so it's a 10% of my paycheck. My benefits, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it's My dad has the exact same insurance. He just got his knee replaced and only paid $250 out of pocket. That's a like
Mm.
$15,000 surgery. So benefits are good, pay is
So you
good.
so you're saying that Trevor's wrong about the failure thing.
It depends. Failure is in the eye of the beholder, in my opinion. I got a buddy who's been owner operator. He makes what 20K a month for what he does, or I'm sorry, not 20K, 40K a month for what he does, and he thinks that's success. I think it's successful, but I don't need that much money. See, I'm
Mm.
happy with like 100, 120K a year. I don't necessarily want to be an owner operator. I've done it. It was awesome. I love the money. It's just all that money is gonna go out of my pocket before my taxes come. Because right now I'm dealing with the IRS because of that.
Mm.
But I know people that make 55 a year that do other jobs. They're happier than I ever been. They have the car, they got the boat, they have all this stuff, they have the house. I still don't have a house. I'm renting an apartment, and I make double their money.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
mean
they're happy, and I'm not. You know what I mean? In terms of like financialness, like because I all keep saying I got to make more to make to catch up, but instead, some people make way less than me and are way happier in their financial
that's very
situation.
that's very true. Hold on, the queue is piling up. 1 second here, Johnny. 1 second. Miss Journey just came in the building.
Hello.
Highway Journey, do you agree with Trevor on if you're with a mega carrier 2 years, you're a failure?
Absolutely not. I
Okay.
don't agree because I've seen people be very successful with mega carrier. I've seen people fail miserably as owner operator. So as far as failure, exactly what is he talking about? Because you've been there for 2 years and he feels like you should drop and make what he say 300K, which I've never heard that amount unless he's pulling heavy stuff. He can't be doing no driving making that much. So what
Mm.
exactly is failure to him?
Let's
And
ask him. 1 second.
what is
Let's ask him. Trevor, what exactly is failure to you?
Not being able to retire and enjoy the rest of your life. Retire at an early age and enjoy the rest where you're not working through the prime of your life.
Okay, 1 second. That's a pretty good straight answer. What do you think of that, Highway Journey?
okay, so how old is he and when does he plan on retiring since he's making 300K?
How old are you and when do you plan on retiring, Trevor?
I'm 88, but that's 33. I'm 33 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll be retired by 40.
That answers that.
Yeah. Um, I would like to see that because, it looked like I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but it looked like he may jeopardize his health before he gets to enjoy his retirement.
Eee. That is Jeez Louise. I think Trevor got frozen here.
Yeah, that can get crazy.
Yeah, that's a little sticky. That's a sticky conversation. Now, listen, I think that's a danger for all truckers, right? So, I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm
I
definitely more
mean,
health
and,
conscious these days than I was a few years ago, for sure.
Go ahead, Highway Journey.
and he's only 33, right?
Yes.
Okay. He looks like he's almost 300 pounds. So,
Mm.
I mean, that's not good for his health. If his health is going to fail, he's going to be spending all that money he made to get better, you know?
Yeah, I mean that is a reality. We can't act like that's not real. I understand none of this stuff is malicious, people. These, health is pretty well documented and weight. So it's not an untruth. She's not wrong about what she's saying. Let's see if
Yeah, and a
Trevor.
and a point to be made too, regardless of size per se, post truck life, you definitely have to go through some type of rehabilitation if you've been out here for any serious length of time, whether it be, down to a muscular level or on the bones or joints or any of these things. These are things you have to take into consideration, or even just your diet period. Even if you didn't necessarily gain weight on the road, you've been eating garbage for the last 4 or 5 years.
I tell you, a big one that I have to go through, I'm still working on, is lower back muscles.
Oh yeah, I definitely have to deal with that. I mean, already had sclerosis before I got in the truck and I didn't know it. So this definitely ain't helped my situation.
Right. Hold on. Trevor has to speak back. 1 second, people. Trevor.
Yes.
There's considerable pushback to your premise.
I just caught like the last 3 sentences.
She
this
said
is something about me being fat.
Listen, she said that, you look to be around 300 pounds, no shade.
Correct.
No She's just saying that causes health issues and you may not be able to enjoy that early retirement because you're sacrificing your health.
Yes, but that's being in this truck period. You're sacrificing your health. So you want to do it for 20 years at a company making 60 grand a year? Or do you want to get in and out before you lose your foot, like my father? Or like, this isn't a long-term play.
So
the long-term play in this is dead at 60 with a leg missing because you got diabetes. That's a long-term trucker.
So you're saying that if it's not a long-term play, it will behoove you to make the most money as possible, and that is not going to be done at the mega carrier.
Correct.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all coming for Trevor, but Trevor, he got them comebacks for you. Though. Like, he got the comebacks for you. I just don't. I don't know. Highway Journey.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
Oh, I didn't hear what he said. I'm sorry. What did he say?
He said that is the reason why it's not a long-term play, and you should make pretty much more money, and that's not going to be done at the mega carrier. So he's trying to say that health thing kind of proves his point.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is I've seen people be very successful at a mega carrier. I've seen people be very successful at UPS. And I think whichever route you pick, you're going to jeopardize something. Being an owner operator, you don't have health insurance. You got to pay for most of that stuff out of your pocket.
Right.
Or just abandon it altogether, because him making that type of money, he gone every day, I'm sure. Most of the year,
Yeah.
And so he's sacrificing a lot on his end and his health.
True.
And he's 33. So you got to take all that into factor. I appreciate what he's saying and what he's going through. Don't get me wrong, but there are other factors to what he's saying that could maybe crush that for him or all of us, any of us.
I agree that completely. I'm going to go ahead and back you out. I know you're busy, and I'm going to speak on what I think of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling in, Highway Journey. You don't call in like that no more.
I'm sorry, baby.
All right, thank you. Listen. First of all, let's start it off because Trevor is known to do this. He'll drop a bomb and be like, "Yeah, deal with that." Listen. This is how I look at it. Number one, don't do drugs. That's number one. That's my go-to. I go back to that all the time. Don't do drugs. Don't drink alcohol. Don't chase ridiculous Satchmo. What you need to think of here is, what do you want to do? It is hard for one human to say what makes everybody a failure. It is hard to do that because some people do not feel that way. I am a YouTuber, and there's people who think that this makes me a failure. There's people that think it doesn't. It could be looked at in many different ways, man. At the end of the day, you need to figure out what you want to do. Trevor likes to break necks, cash checks, buy bikes, and he wants to retire in about 6-7 years. That's his success. Then I've met people who worked company for 25 years straight, and they got paid off houses, stacked 401ks, put kids through college, and the whole niggity nine. It's it's like it's up to you. Another thing we're not talking about either, regardless of how much money you make, and I haven't heard anybody bring this up, is money management. Something D-Raj harps on. Money management. No one brought that up. You got to manage your money, regardless of how much you're making. Trevor could be making $500,000 a year, but if he's putting $100,000 up his nose, another 100 on sweet booty, and another 100 on traveling, he's still gonna end up broke. So it is kind of relative. If you're making $60,000-$70,000 a year working company, but your management skills are on 100, you can do all right. I'm not saying anyone is wrong or right in this situation. I'm saying it's their opinion, and that's just what it is. Now, the room did not get bought out to let the regular public in. For that to happen, it would have to be 250, and it did not get there. So I'm not going to let the public in. But what I will say is this: the things that y'all are texting, I'm seeing people message that hardly ever message. So it's definitely something people think about. I will say this to Trevor's point. If I did my career over, I would have stayed at the league the complete time. I would have never left. That is my legit point. That's what I would have did. I'd have went to the league and I just stayed there. I would have never left until I left the game. I definitely would have managed my money better, and I would have went to the league and I would have just stayed and I would have just made steady money. Would I have made as much as Trevor? Absolutely not. But I wouldn't have worried about as much stuff when I went independent. I wouldn't have worried about all these things. And I definitely probably would have enjoyed my career a little bit better. That's just my view. Now, maybe that would have made me a failure or whatever, or made me someone who just, whatever, you know what I mean? But I think I would have enjoyed my career 10 times better if I would have just went to the league and just stayed there my whole 8-9 years. And when I was done, I just left. I probably would have made way more money. In a complete, if you think about the whole thing, like I would have made consistent money that whole time, which probably would have added up to more. I believe. That's what I believe. Andrew, thanks for hitting the cast track. He says Trevor is doing keto, so he is doing better. Sheldon Van Dyke sent money to the Cash App and says, pop your crap, Trevor. So there's people that definitely agree with him. There's people that definitely agree with him. Steve Carson, did you get yourself together to say something? Apparently not. Giant, did you have something you wanted to say? Drew.
Yo.
Did you have something you wanted to add to that at the end of it?
Yeah, I would like to add that just because someone's an owner operator doesn't mean they're more successful than the company driver. Like you said, you can make $90,000 a year and be a lot happier than the guy making $300,000 a year because you're home 2 to 4 days a week and he's out however weeks or months at a time. You're home, you get to play with your motorcycle. He only gets to play with it for 10 days a year. Weigh your options. Like you said, you have a paid off house. He's still in the truck all day working without having a house because he's never home, so he doesn't buy a house. That's just my opinion.
And there's people that I've met who went to OTR just for the sake of traveling. Like they just don't want to be still. They want to be OTR. So I mean, like you said, it's relative. They may think that's success. So I mean, listen, people, it's no one way to skin a cat at the end of the day. There's no one way to skin a cat. No one way to skin a cat. But I mean, you can't hate on somebody's view on how they wanna do it. Drew, thank you for calling in. Phil, do you have something to say on that point on the way out of it?
Yeah, Now that he's elaborated a bit more, I understand his perspective in terms of why he would come into the game so aggressive, because he does have an exit plan. And to that perspective, I would agree that if you can and you have a desire to do something else outside of trucking, that you should attack it as aggressively as possible. Granted, you're at so much greater of a risk trying to do that, but if you have plans and you really have the, I guess you could say, the drive and motivation to really go after it, to get in and get out, then yeah, I could see why he would say at that time, not necessarily seeing that number is to a degree failure. But for someone else who doesn't have that same, I guess you could say, projection, because he's talking about retiring in under 7 years, uh, you know, like I said, it's relative to what your happiness is, what your goal is, where you want to be at in life. All these different factors that we take into consideration. So I understand his perspective. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand why he says it the way he says it, because he wants to actually retire. I mean, for me, I would say, second, third year, I would hope you're in the mid 60s at that point. If not, it's okay if you're happy. But, like I said, your your income should relatively scale to your experience depending on what you're hauling. Like,
Oh,
for example, oh wait, hold on, what we got?
real quick, Gold Phoenix buys the room out and for the public to speak. He wants the public to call in.
Oh boy, this will be interesting.
This is about to get messy. Listen, public, if you cuss, I will boot you. No cussing. No cussing, no cussing, no cussing, no cussing. Know that before you call in. All right, this is about to get real messy.
Well, we're gonna keep some organized conversation, like you said. No
Yeah.
cussing. We're gonna go have a nice back and forth. If you can't cooperate with that, you got to go.
Yeah, that's just that simple. We got to keep it. Listen, man, this is, like you said, this is a business. This needs to get a green check. We need to figure out how to get back into the algorithm, and the only way we can do that for more people to hear this stuff is we can't be on here dropping F-bombs and the P-bombs and all that type of stuff, man. You got to, if you're going to speak with some intelligence, say what your view is. Trevor was not trying to be overtly disrespectful. He just said his point, and he had something to back his point up. That's another thing too. You can't just drop stuff and then when it becomes under scrutiny, you can't defend it. So he defended it very well. Hold on, let's hear from Trevor before the public gets in here. Did I drop the link? There it goes. I dropped the link. I dropped the link for the public to call in. Gold Phoenix, who does have a YouTube, he bought the room out.
He's a very bright young man.
Very bright. 1 second. Let me see if I can find him so I can show. I can't find your page, Gold Phoenix. I don't know what's going on with that. Gold Phoenix. There he goes. There he goes. This is the guy that bought the room out. While I'm letting the queue stack up for a second. This is the page that he has. Let's put this here. This guy bought the room out. He wants the public to call in and not have to pay.
So I'm chilling here in Refined, Virginia right now.
That was a quick look away. Y'all missed it. Let me roll it back. He did a look away and look at that's an 80s model move. Y'all just missed right there. That's an 80s model move. Watch this. Watch him look at the camera. Watch.
I'm chilling here.
This brother cold.
Those of you who have the 181, y'all know what I'm talking about. The big old petrol over here. I'm parked all the way in the back, as you can see. Why? It's a long walk to the front. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of walking. But anyway, the point of this video today, notice a lot of truck drivers are cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're cheapskates, basically. And I believe that when you're on the road, there are certain things that you should put a premium on. And one of those things is being able to get good rest. You're driving an 80,000 pound land submarine down the interstate, bro. Like, you need to spend the money to get what you should have in order to have a good night's sleep. And what I'm gonna show you guys is basically everything that I have to help me get a good night rest or a day rest, whatever the scale. I run reefer, so I'm all over the place. But essentially, stuff like bed sheets, pillows, blankets, type of stuff that I.
See, this is one thing I don't like, Phil.
What's that?
Phoenix speaks on some good stuff. He's going to tell you everything you need to buy to have a really good sleep, something that has legit value, and he only has 62 subs.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a problem.
First of all, while I got him up here, we gonna do a SEO look at him, see if he's doing the stuff right. Gold Phoenix, you got a 5% SEO score, buddy. Come on, man. Come on, buddy. We got to call me. We got to work on that. We got to work on that. One liner in the description can't be done.
Key point to be made, folks. That's part of what you get with the Patreon package. It's not just trucking questions. If you guys have YouTubes you want to build out or need some restructuring to help your channel to get some more visibility, that's part of what comes with Patreon.
Yeah, it does. It does. And he also has no tags. Oh God, me and him he's gonna get a good talking to because he knows better. He knows better. Call back in, Gold Phoenix. You got to answer for that. All right, real quick. Let's see. Let's just hear from Trevor real quick. Trevor, the public is about to call in on your premise. It probably is not going to be pretty.
It's okay. I back up everything I say.
Says he want all the schmiggity smoke. Listen, no cussing people, no cussing people, no cussing people. First caller, Mando, what's good?
I'm just hanging out, I've already said my piece.
Oh yeah, you did already say your piece. Hold on, Willis, do you agree with him?
What's good?
What's going on?
I agree and I disagree. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
All right, so I agree and I disagree with Trevor on this. Because like I disagree on the fact that not everybody wants to make that big money and everything like that, and they just want to say company just be average. I just call them average to me because they're just average to me. But I agree on the fact that you need to get in here and make your money. Because like what I did was what a lot of people would disagree with is I jumped into the lease game at 6 months of experience. And I got about 10 months right now. I jumped at 6 months, and I've been doing very well for myself. Like I'm projecting within my first year, or in my first year of being a lease operator, to make over $200,000 my first year in trucking. So I agree with him on the fact on that. Like I'm not gonna see the numbers that Trevor's making. I wish he would like drop that game on that, but I definitely agree with Trevor. And then on the whole health thing with trucking, I don't see myself risking my health as much as I did in the Marine Corps. I definitely risked my health a lot more in the Marine Corps than I have in trucking so far. So I was just speak my piece on that. Is like when it comes to health and trucking, I've definitely risked my health a lot more when I was in the Marine Corps in trucking. Like this is easy work. I just get out, I get out, walk around, do my exercise like that. I'm not out here with a 90-pound sack hiking 20 to 25 miles anymore, risking my knees and everything like that, risking my health, getting bronchitis when you're in like negative 20-degree weather in the mountains doing mountain warfare training. With health, when coming from military to trucking health wise, it's a cakewalk. Like I've recovered since while being in trucking. This is like my recovery for me. So
I have to
do
counteract that.
disagree.
Hold on 1 second. Phil has a rebuttal to that. What's that, Phil?
Yeah, again, that makes you a unicorn because of the training you had prior to coming into trucking. Your life was already structured based on where you retired from. So, well, yeah, like Spirit Driven said, military is a whole nother subject. But you're coming from a structured situation where, to a relative degree, you had to have discipline. I mean, we're not going to talk about what you did outside of that. That's irrelevant. and real quick sidebar, because I want to be messy. Did you get some rest, man? Because you clocked out on us last night.
I got like 3-4 hours of sleep, and I got up and started driving again.
Jeez, dude.
I didn't know I fell asleep during the.
You went full Z's mode on us.
You fell asleep on the meeting?
Yeah,
Yes, it was hilarious.
Jesus, Willis.
Yeah.
Listen,
Well, I
quick
can operate on like 3 to 4 hours of sleep.
quick, tell him I blocked him. No time for back and forth with strain. Who are you blocking? Hold on 1 second, Willis. Thomas is a public caller. Thomas, come on, public people, got to get that cricket together. Come on now.
Hello.
Public people. There you go, Thomas. Thomas is not in the Patreon. He's from the public. He wants to call in and rebuttal Trevor. Do you
Mr.
think
Thomas,
Trevor is
turn your camera off, Mr. Thomas?
No, I actually do not. I actually think it depends on the company you're with, because I'm
Hold on, real
3 years
quick.
in.
Thomas, real quick, before you say turn your camera off, because if you say your company, you can get fired. So turn your camera off. You're driving. There you go. Go ahead.
Depends on the company you're with. I've been driving for 3 years now, and I mean, I did pretty well from year one, extremely well from year one, because I got lucky.
Go ahead.
You know, I believe that it's what you make of it, because I used to follow you when I first started Trucker Brown, and because I followed your advice with learning how to run my clock, I mean, my first year, I touched about 70, 80 year one as a company driver. And even now as a company driver, I'm averaging almost 2,000 a week. So, I mean, you know, it's what you make of it and how you build a relationship with your dispatchers or what have you. So I disagree.
So you mean, but you know, Trevor says that you could be making more.
Well, I don't have the stress. I mean, I actually enjoy what I do. I mean, I love what I do. So, I mean, you know, I don't have the stress he has. I mean, I've done the least thing, you know, and my whole thing was I went back to the company I started with because I made the same amount with none of the headaches and just as much freedom. So, what's the point?
Ooh.
That's a strong argument.
Hold on, Thomas. I got another public person in the background. Remember, Gold Phoenix, go sub to his channel. He paid for all the public people to call in free. The link is in the chat. Mr. Vonnie, I ain't heard from you in a minute, man. You back from Dominican Republic? Don't think I forgot.
No, I had to Brazil a few months ago, but shit, I just been driving, man, just trucking, man.
Okay, so you back? You good? You healthy? Everything straight?
Yeah, everything cool, man. I can't complain, man. How you been?
Listen, I ain't doing as good as you. That's a fact.
You doing better than me. I'm still working. You ain't.
Y'all don't know that. I still recover trucks on the low. I just keep it on the lousy. Listen, Trevor said if you're still with a mega carrier after 2 years, you are a failure.
That to me, that really depends on the person, man. Everybody's situation is different, and that's just across the board in life. You know, some people say that you'll never become a millionaire working for somebody. Well, I know that's not true. I know somebody personally that has crossed over into becoming a millionaire that has been an employee for a certain amount of years. So it's all on the person. It's all about what you do, how you do it, what you got going on, what you decide to do. Everything is subjective. Everything. Even like I heard y'all talking about the health issue. And you know, we touched on this before. This was like the first time I ever been on your channel. Everybody got control over their health, whether they realize it or not. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you know, in trucking, you don't have to eat truck driving food. What's wrong with stopping at Walmart and making healthier options? What's wrong with stopping at Costco and buying healthier options in bulk while you out there on the road? We got choices. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it.
So you saying if you manage your time and manage your food, you don't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be a failure situation.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You talking about as far as being at a company?
Yes.
No, because, well, all I can speak on is being a company driver. So I don't know anything about lease. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about being an owner because I've never been those things. But just everybody, all this stuff is just titles, really. A lot of stuff is just titles. Just because a person is an owner op, a lot from what I hear, a lot of owner ops or a lot of people in lease purchase programs ain't doing no better than a lot of people that work company jobs, depending on what company they at.
That's true.
I mean,
That's a shot.
it all depends on how you budget your money. You know what I'm saying? A company driver that knows how to budget his money, that does not have any expenses, you know what I mean, that knows how to make them sacrifices can probably do a whole lot better liquid wise than probably a lease driver or owner. A lot of people, when they start seeing that money, they start financing stuff and they start buying stuff. So I mean, it's just all on the person, like I said. And this ain't no knock on the owner ops or lease drivers. This can go either way.
Right.
It's all subjective. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Real quick, I appreciate you for calling in, Vonnie. One second, real quick. I have more callers that are calling in. Real quick, 1011 trucking. 1 second, I have to ask Gold Phoenix a question. Gold Phoenix, I got a couple of bones to pick with you. Come on, brother. I know you can hear me. That Oklahoma ain't doing that bad. Gold Phoenix, you muted, bro.
Boy, that AT&T is not having it today.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Couple questions. I'm not seeing the SEO work on the channel, bro. No, that AT&T is definitely not working out. Real quick, Erica, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, gentlemen. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. Do you agree with Trevor Gosselin? I don't know how to say his last name. Sorry, Trevor. Can you agree with Trevor on that if you're working for a mega carrier over 2 years, you're a failure?
No. I don't agree with that statement necessarily. And again, success is defined by what you consider to be successful. If I decide to get up and do 20 squats and I actually get up and do that, that's a success for the day. So having been on both sides, we've been company drivers, Greg and I, and we've also now at least operators. And I can just speak from personal experience. It takes time to get to a level where you're making significant money at a mega carrier because you have to develop the relationship. You have to get good at what you're doing. You have to get good at managing your clock, and you have to get good at certain disciplines. So I think it's all relative and it's all subjective at the same time, as other people have already said. It takes discipline. So you can be successful at a mega carrier, but we weren't, you know what I mean? Because we didn't see the fruits of our hard labor. It wasn't that we weren't managing our clock. You know, we were just brand new and we didn't necessarily have the type of relationships just yet where they were giving us the cream of the crop of the accounts and looking at that delicious vegan meal. And we are non-meat eaters, so I can relate to you. Make sure you enjoy every piece of that, smell it, breathe it, do all that good stuff.
Listen, can I be honest with you real quick, Erica?
Yes.
I was driving past a place. I went to Target, and right in front of the Target was an Outback Steakhouse. It almost got me. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be real. I even walked in.
Yeah, it happened.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just wanted to smell the fat back. I just wanted to smell it.
We do the same thing from time to time. We don't eat it, but that sense of smell hits us. But here's what you have to ask yourself. First of all, don't punish yourself for feeling that way, because it's a human emotion, right? The second thing is you just ask yourself, who am I being at this moment? You know, what makes me want to eat that meat? You know, what is your body telling you? What is your body craving? The body could be craving the protein. So you just need to give your body what it needs, or your body might not be hungry at all. Your body might need hydration.
My body wanted fat back. That's what they wanted.
Your body wanted that fat back booty.
Man,
That's what it wanted.
they were walking by with blooming onions and freaking sirloin cut. Like, I just left. I just got out of there. I just yelled at the lady, scared her, and left. I don't know. I think she's terrified. I don't know.
Did she hold her purse? Did she grab her purse? That's all.
Yeah. She just looked like, bro, if you want the steak, take the steak. But I didn't do it. I left. But listen, I think you're completely right on the subject. Gold Phoenix wants to call in, but he's having a slight issue. That's his channel. Y'all go sub to him. We're trying to get him to 100 before it's over. He's at 75. He started at 66. Now he's at 75. I dropped the link inside of the chat. I'll do it again. This is the link to his channel. Listen, people. This is what I'll say. Trevor is entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to feel the way he wants to feel. Apparently, it's working for him. Like I say, I've been where Trevor's at before and even said it publicly on my channel, which caused me a lot of problems. That's why I don't really touch on how much people make. I don't really touch on that stuff no more because it hurts more feelings than it does help people. So I try not to take that stance. But if you put yourself in a position to win, first of all, you got to figure out what is winning to you. What is winning to you? I know guys who drive crazy oversized trucks and make $10 a mile. And I know dudes who drive booty meat trains here in Las Vegas. And let me tell you, the booty meat train dude is happy. He's only getting paid $12 an hour. But
he's having a blast.
He's having a biggity blast. Now, who are we to say who's successful and who's not? I can't. It's so hard for me to do that because you're talking to somebody who's playing with getting a travel trailer and not living nowhere.
I have a point about success definitions. I would say, just as a general rule of thumb in terms of defining the success line, is when you're no longer in poverty, and that's being not necessarily being the bottom of the barrel poverty. I mean what they would call the society standard of the poverty line, which from what you've said in the past is around $60,000. Oh, it's 50.
But it depends on where you live, though, right? It depends on your demographic. That's what determines the poverty line.
That is true. That is a very valid point.
But now,
me personally, what I consider to be the poverty line, like I say, this will be my opinion. So hopefully it doesn't piss anybody off. I'll say right now, if you're going to average out the country, the poverty line is about $45,000 to $50,000 a year. I agree. Why do you come up with that number, Trucker Brown? I come up with that number because I'm assuming you picked your insurances, your health insurance. You've picked out how much you're going to put into your retirement before you bought all the things you're going to buy, which most people have not done it that way. Most people don't do their budget based on their benefits and stuff first, and then they say what kind of car they can get and things like that. For you to be able to live in as an adult, completely independently, and we did the math last night, it's gonna end up somewhere around $45,000, $50,000. Once you go under that, you're gonna start losing some stuff, and that's what I consider to be the poverty line. Me personally, some people may say, I don't mind walking to work, so that's not my poverty. Hey, man, whatever. It's up to you. But for me to live the way I want, it's $80,000. So, like I said, it's at the end of the day, it's still relative. It's still relative. Some people move to the DR and they only need $10,000 US to live for the year. So it just depends on what you consider to be living. That's what I say. But anybody can refute that or whatever they want to do. Real quick, I got some people lined up here. Real quick, I got some people lined up. 1 second. Matter of fact, Phil, you may have to take over because I've been drinking this strawberry water and it is freaking running through me. I'm just going to be dirty and honest about it.
Oh, boy.
Antioxidants, though. Antioxidants, real quick. Public caller in, Aaron Melton. I see you.
What's going on, my guy?
What's going on with you? You sitting poolside, ain't you?
Yeah, I got the kids at the pool. I don't go back to work till tomorrow. So I just wanted to drop a small jewel real quick. Trevor is not wrong, nor is he 100% correct, because I am one of those people, prior service military, so I'm an exception to this rule. Being 100% disabled from the military, and being a company driver, including my company pay, I was at $100K my first year in trucking. With that being said, being a company driver, I was able to pay off a lot of debt, purchase a house, and live the type of lifestyle that I wanted for me and my family. But I can also say, as a lease driver, there are a lot of things that you have to endure as far as, maintenance on the truck and everything that you wouldn't have to do as a company driver that can, kind of swing it both ways. As far as me personally, it all depends on the person and what they're looking for in life. I mean, some people don't want to make 6 figures a year. They just want to make, enough to cover the household and whatever little knickknacks they want on the side. So that's why I say he's not wrong, but he's also not correct in that sense.
It's a very valid point, man. Appreciate that perspective.
No problem. You guys be
Lemonade Law, my guy. What's going on, man?
Bruh, I just want to say, I have no idea what the hell y'all talking about out here, bro. I've been knocked out. My sleep schedule is. I just want to put this out there. This is what happened when you chase the money too hard.
Oh yeah, you been out here getting after it?
Yeah, you start waking up. And you do loads overnight. And then after you do loads overnight, you wake up 8 to 9 hours after that and start doing loads again and keep doing that cycle over and over on a 10-hour span within like 3 days of just straight, no more than 10.
Hard clock rotation.
Yeah, starting your clock at a terrible time in the middle of the morning. So I haven't been able to beat that beast. Even over this holiday weekend, I haven't been able to beat the beast. I can't shake it. I can't shake waking up at a decent time. Not this week. It's been rough, bro. I've been working, like I've been staying up all night like I'm working a shift and waking up at weird hours, which was working out for the job, but for regular life, when I come back home and I need to do stuff, it's not a good deal.
Right. So just to bring you up to speed real quick, Trevor came in and dropped a crazy bomb today. His strong opinion, which we all love Trevor. Trevor's a fantastic guy. He's been a super big supporter of the channel. But his opinion today was that in your second year of driving, if you are not earning at least $120,000, you are failing. Now, for the most part, the consensus of people that have called in, because thanks to Gold Phoenix, it's been opened up to the public, and I'm sure TV will let you know in a second, but which we're keeping this one super clean, so just be mindful of that. The room's consensus has been that success is relative. What may work for one man may not work for the next man, as long as you're happy and not in the poorhouse. Now, thankfully, Trevor did expand on his point, because he stands on his points and he does come with some facts behind what he said. His goal. Well, he made a strong point.
I gotta hit on Trevor, bro. I can't just let you keep saying all this good stuff about Trevor without.
Well, he said that because he's 33 now. He said that by 40, with the projection of how his business has been going, he's going to retire. Now, mind you, we all know he has a special situation. He said he's doing over $300,000 a year. I believe the man based on how he's been moving in the streets. But
Trevor, yeah, I believe him too, because of his work pattern. I believe him.
Right.
And it ain't hard to do in trucking. I mean, it's hard to do, but for somebody like Trevor, it's not hard to do because he ain't got no life.
Right. So he fully believes that you should get in this industry and get out as quickly as possible. Now, I don't know what his plans are to do at 40 or if he has something else lined up, but in terms of strictly trucking, he feels like you should spend as little time in this industry as possible and make as much money as you can. And on the other side of that, you have people who go to a company and are, happy and content with the money they're making and a lot of times retire out of it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Let me ask another question before I start into Trevor's. Trevor.
And Phil.
What you say that again, Erica?
Trevor put a note in the chat that said, "Bring him in." Hey,
I can't control it. That'll be TB when he gets back.
Yeah, he can't. Okay. This ain't like it ain't like Zoom.
It's not like Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, you give up the hosting duties. What's the deal with Gold Phoenix? When he's supposed to be? Because I got a sub to him. I have no idea what Gold Phoenix has going on.
Yeah, I say Gold Phoenix is doing well himself.
Is that how it started? The whole live, right? That's how it started. Was with the Gold Phoenix joint,
No,
right?
it was about Trevor. Gold Phoenix bought out the room.
Okay, so what happened when Gold Phoenix bought out the room? He just gave his opinion.
Well, yeah, he shared his perspective, and other people have been calling in and talking about how they feel about the subject of Trevor's thoughts. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so Gold Phoenix just came in, bought the room, and kind of gave his opinion. And said, "Go subscribe to me," basically, right?
Right.
He just paid so everybody called him from the outside. That's what he meant by bought out the room.
So when Gold Phoenix bought out the room, I could cuss, right? That's the
no.
rule.
We're still keeping this one clean, man. Just
come
chill.
on, hey. He bought out the room.
We need the ad check on this one. So
okay, TB changing rules. Okay, let's go. All right. So Trevor, you believe that if you're not making 120 by your second year, you are sucking at life, pretty much.
Hey, I'm in.
Yeah, you in.
Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
With that big
All
old
right. Let me reiterate what I said. I said, if you have 2 years of experience in this business and you're still a company driver making 60 grand a year, you're a failure. You're doing this game wrong. That is what I said.
Ooh, Trevor wants
Thank you for clarifying, Trevor. I was just trying to reiterate it in a nice way, but you got it.
And you know what? That's actually fair. That's fair to say. That's fair to say.
If I said something like that, oh my God, bro, the internet is going to go
It's
nuts.
my privilege. I'm allowed to say stuff like that.
Hey, facts.
You're allowed to say that because you just don't care, honestly.
Do your thing. I wish TB
I got nothing to lose.
TB changed the boxes, bro. Anyway, if I said something like that, they'd be burning state. Like they'd be finding my address and burning stuff in my yard, bro. I ain't mean that from a racial perspective. I meant just it'd be black people out here too, just going crazy on law. Because I said that if you're a $60,000 company driver,
let me explain a little further. People keep saying this is subjective. No, it's not. Words have meaning, and meanings are important. The definition of success is achieving the goals you set.
Let me
if you want to aim.
So with that being said, though, if it's the goals you set, wouldn't that make it subjective to the person?
It would be to their goals, but if your goals are so low to be poverty and work in poverty for 20 years, 30 years, and then rely on Social Security to do your retirement, you're a failure.
Oh wow.
Okay,
You're shit at life.
So let me ask you this, Trevor. What is your poverty number?
60,000. Anyone making under 60,000 can't afford to live in America today.
Hey, he said it, people. That's his take on that. So what's your reaction to that, Law?
I see. Hey, so man, this is so much to unpack. I just woke up. Jesus Christ, we getting into the damn. That's tough, bro. Like this is a lot.
Life is tough.
So let's think about a couple things, okay? Okay, because we got age groups to think about when we talking about making money in trucking. That's a big deal. We also have family to talk about when you want to talk about money and how much you make, because $60,000 is plenty of money. That's plenty. That's plenty of money. You don't need $60,000 to survive, especially in a damn truck. You really you could do it on a lot less. We all have
We've
done
all struggled.
it just depends on your idea of struggling. So and listen, I'm an advocate for what you're saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate right now. Okay, so let's break this down. Okay, let's say you're somewhere around the age of 58, right?
Then your income needs to be higher.
Does it though? All your kids are grown. accomplished, doing their own thing. You don't have to look after them. They in their 30s. You don't have to look after them. You don't have to do nothing for your kids. They good. They doing their thing.
But your years of earning income is almost up, and you're gonna have to survive
the fact.
on
So
that income
you're
for another 30 years.
so that's what I'm saying. You're nearing the retirement age because if you pick up a job in your 50s or whatever the case may be, most know you don't have to work that. You don't want have to work that long to retire. You know what I mean? Because you're nearing that retirement age. Like you don't have to work till 70 to retire if you started at 50 something. Usually they put together a pension package for you. It might not be as much as the 30-year guy, but it is a pension package that they can put together for you once you've been at a company for so long at a certain age. And my mother's a good example of this, which I'm not gonna put out her, statistics or nothing like that. But let's just say you get to a company at 58 and they got a package set for you to, let's say 55, and they got a package put together for you to retire at 68, something like that. You know what I mean? Which nobody really wants to work till they 68, but you in that position, 55, 68, you lived your life. You don't really have many bills, you know what I mean? Uh all you really getting a job for is insurance because you got, a couple health problems that come with being 58 or 55. And 60,000 is plenty for you to just ride around in a truck and you got rid of your apartment. You don't have any bills. The little putt car, or it ain't got to be a putt car. It could be a Cadillac that you have for years. That's clean. It's paid for. You don't think 60,000 is enough for an old man who ain't got no bills or responsibility, and they got their clean Cadillac that they jump in when they come home once a month and probably stay with their kids, and 60,000 he ain't doing much. He just chilling in the truck. You don't think 60,000 is he's failing or what? That's a different perspective.
I think, well, no, because he'll retire at 68, then he'll have 12 years, and then he'll be dead. So he's only going to enjoy the 12 years of his life.
Well, let me ask you this, Trevor, because this is I think this is a big pivot point as to determining where the line should drop for income. What kind of lifestyle are you living to where 60,000 should be your bar none floor? Like, where are you living? What kind of habits do you have? What type of vehicles are you driving? Things of that nature. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, what's the average rent in America? What, $1,200 a month?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good middle number to pick.
All right, so $1,200 a month. That's what, 20 grand a year? No, 14, 15 grand a year, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Let me
And
get the
that's
calculator and get the exact
yeah.
number. 1 second.
1,200 a month is literally 12,000 plus the extra
14.8
Yeah,
or 15.
Yeah, 14.4, something like that. 14.4.
All right,
Something
so
matter is 14.
just paying
Yes,
for your
the official number is
domicile.
14.4. So let's just call it 14 and a half. Let's just say $14,500 a year.
All right, so it's $60,000 a year. You're now down to 36, 35.5. No, 45.5. Math isn't my good point. All right, and
Yeah, that leaves you at
lights.
45.5. So let's just say on the low end, 45,000.
Yeah, so lights, power, just your regular keeping the home bills. What's the good average? $300 a month, 150 for power,
Yeah,
50
I
for
would say
water,
that's a good number.
trash. Can you do the math on that?
So that's
Where you
another
do it?
3,600 a year.
All right, so now we're down to 42,000.
Right.
All right, but we forgot the tax man. So 30% of 60,000 is 20,000. So we're at $22,000. All right, and then your
30% of
ins-
40,000 is
30% of 60,000.
oh
Yeah,
60.
but if you're making 60,000 a year, your tax bracket is not in the 30%. You're lower than that.
Way
What
low.
is it?
Plus the dependent.
25.
Plus
Yeah,
if you have any
looking at like
dependents.
anywhere between 21 to 25%. I can't remember what the tables are
Yeah,
right now.
I was gonna say about somewhere between 20 to 25.
Yeah, but depending on expenses and dependents, if you're smart at doing your taxes, that number goes way down.
But just
60
for the
grand.
sake of averages, we're talking about a regular W-2 guy who doesn't have those things to deduct.
Okay, what about the okay, so maybe one dependent, even with one dependent, that number goes way down. And
So
the tax man usually is taxed high, depending on how he sets up his what is it, the W-4? It's been a while since I filled that thing out. The W-4 when you sign on with a company as a company driver, what's that thing that you fill out to put your exemption? Ain't that the W-4?
yeah. So we're at
If he signs
give or
up
take
with one,
25,000 then,
it's,
30,000.
it's gonna be way less than that. What 30,000? What? How much he's gonna make?
How much you got left over?
It's gonna be way more than that because at first we started at 20, so that would have been 40,000. So it's gonna be closer to 50.
Well, no, I mean total with the rent and lights and stuff. 30,000.
Well, I gave the example, like I said. So your answer for the old man that ain't got no lights and no rent, none of that. He's just an old man. So 60.
Yeah, but you got to. His income's gonna dry up. He's not gonna make money
He don't need
once
to
he
make money
retires.
because he don't have no expenses. But when he's done, he's gonna have his pension from his truck and his Social Security.
What
It's gonna
pension?
be
There are
plenty.
no pensions anymore.
Who Yellow took away their pension? Snyder took away their pension? JB Hunt took away their pension? When did this happen?
How long do you have to drive to get that pension? Because he's starting at 58.
It depends. That's what I'm saying. It depends, but there is a pension package for people that start at that age. I ain't saying it's going to be a whole lot of money. Like I said in the beginning, it's not going to be as much as the 30-year guy, but they can't work you till you 80 years old just because you came in the game at 50.
They definitely can work you till you're 80 years old. I've met 80-year-old truckers that drive.
They can, but you don't have to. You
The
can
instructor at my
you can
school
get a
was
pension package put
87.
together. You can get a pension package put together.
Let's get some clarity to this because I had to eat, use the restroom, get my chakras together because I don't have my background set up, and Law stunting on the background. So I had to get my chakras together just based on that. Let's get that out of the way. Number two, this is what I like to say about all this. Okay. If success is relative, which we kind of agree that it is.
No, I don't.
I'm sure you don't, Trevor. But most people agree that it is relative. If you're making $300,000 a year, you are winning. You are successful by American standards. You're successful. Somebody who's making $60,000-$70,000 a year, they own a house, they own a car. That is also considered successful by American standards. So, like I said, it does start to fall down to opinion. It falls down to opinion. That's why everybody's saying different things and who needs what and what needs what. It depends on you. Some people need a brand new car. Some people don't need a car at all. It just it's very hard to come in and say if you're doing this one thing, everybody you're a failure. Now, are you? I think the more politically correct way of saying it, an accurate way of saying it, is that you're not living up to your potential. But failure is a very harsh word. It's a very hard word.
I get what Trevor's saying. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm definitely not down for making 60 grand a year. Like
We got to get over this political correctness stuff.
Yeah, but we got
to say the hard facts.
No.
People don't listen to political correctness.
Listen, hold on. Go ahead. Go things. What did you say?
I was saying in a lot of cases, people perceive as facts is based off of what their subjective reality is, because we all view the world differently, and more often than not, we will say you're wrong or you're a failure because you're not doing what I'm doing. So a lot of people really just want to feel correct. I'm not saying that is you because I do agree with a lot of what you're saying. I disagree with a little, a couple things which I already explained. But more often than not, if you don't live the type of lifestyle that I live, then by definition, in my own mind, you have to be doing something wrong. And that's just how people think a lot of the time. Whereas somebody like me, I don't care what you're doing, I'm gonna do something different. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything. That's perfectly fine. But 60,000 to me is okay money. I personally want more than that. Now,
That's
to
pretty
say
much.
after 2 years, you're a failure to stay out of Medicare, that I disagree with. But nonetheless, I think people should want to live up to their potential and actually see just how far what they're doing can go.
60 grand
Not
in San
everyone.
Francisco, you're definitely homeless. 80
Yeah,
grand in San
exactly.
Francisco, you're definitely homeless.
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah,
move to LA
but
and
I live in
Malibu.
Texas. I live in
Malibu with
Texas. 80 grand go pretty far out there.
That is very true. 80 grand goes pretty far. Hold on, people. I got to get some new blood in here. Hold on, Trevor. Hold on. I got to get some new blood in here. Alkanai. Come on, big money. We can't hear you. You muted, bro.
muted.
Oh, my bad, brother. My bad, brother. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Trevor says if you're at a mega carrier over 2 years, you are a failure.
Those are some hard words saying a failure. You can just play the game a little bit, and then once you feel comfortable to make that move to buy your vehicle, then you go from there. But if you go to put time on things, then it's nah. You doing the most. Everybody got to move at their own pace.
Mm.
That's
So
all
you
I can say
saying,
on the matter. I'm sorry.
so you saying if
I'm sorry.
somebody rushed, they actually
Go
can
ahead.
hurt themselves. If you saying if somebody rushed, they actually can do more harm to themselves than good.
Hmm.
Exactly. So you go to college for 4 years. Who say you got to get your bachelor's in that fourth year?
Right.
So like in the military, yeah, we had a time frame to get your training, and if you didn't get your training, you'll get cycled out and go to another position, maybe a grunt or something else. But us in this industry, there's no time frame. Just take your time and take it easy. Once you have everything set up, bust the move. But if you move too quickly, you'll be worse off. That's all I got to say on the matter.
I,
That's a
I'll
very
add a
grown
point
up
to
way
it.
of looking at it. Hold on. What'd you say, Phoenix?
I'll add a point to it. I said, yeah, I'll add to that. We'll even look at the situation with Dirty Ray. Y'all remember that? We all remember that.
Oh, pain. Go ahead. Let's talk about Dirty Red. Jesus,
I'll
Joseph.
say, in my opinion, I think you moved too quickly. What it looked like to me, and I could be wrong on this, but it's like, I could get $3 a mile. I could get $3 a mile over here if I do this and that, and then you found out real quick, like you jumped the gun. You jumped the gun. Like that's just what it is.
Now,
So
hold
you
up.
probably
Hold. We gotta definitely put a pin in that goal, Phoenix. We gotta stop there. Like, there's no moving
okay.
forward past that point. Listen, I got Dirty Red on my 5th year with over $60,000 in credit and everything put together that I've had. It was thinking about it for a while. I will say that I got misinformation because the way it was presented to me, it was $3.49 a mile, but it wasn't presented like they didn't have a bunch of loads. Like yeah, it can be that much, and it was that much. It just didn't have a bunch of loads to go with it. And then I started realizing that, the league people may be getting $2.49, which is $1 less, but their loads are unlimited. I didn't catch that view, but too early. I definitely don't think it was too early because at some point there is either you're going to jump or you're not, because you don't have
right.
My problem with that statement is people think it's supposed to be perfect when you jump, and the truth is it's never going to be. You could do it for 15 years and still jump and fail, or you could be doing the independent thing for 10 years and then fail at that 11th year. The truth of the matter, the truth of the whole situation is in trucking, there's a million things that will make you fail. A million things. I know people who failed at Prime with a truck they gave them, and they help you fix it.
A Detroit truck.
They pay for half the repairs. That's not under warranty.
Yeah, exactly. So even if they're helping you pay for repairs, if the truck keeps going in the shop, you ain't making no money. You fell it, and then they end up blowing out. So to me, it's one of them things where it's like, look, I'm gonna have to do this eventually, or I'm never going to do it. Should I have bought the truck I bought? I don't think so. What I should have did, which would have made all the difference, I should have bought a new truck. See, what I was listening to was y'all jigaboo preachers who was saying it's stupid to buy a new truck. They was talking about all that crap, and I go out there and get some free range booty type of truck off the farm, and it's like, oh my god, I should have just paid $1,000 a week for a new truck.
How many miles, Dirty Red, have on it? You bought it? 460,000 miles.
Ouch.
Oof.
You just
That
bought
hurt.
He was OTR in that joint.
a lemon, dog. 460 is
I'll add this too. You and my father both went through the same thing with the same carrier, same situation. He made the same mistake with the used truck. His back in the day was a Century class with a Detroit 60 with like 600,000 miles on it. Lost his behind on it. Ended up taking a hiatus from the industry for like 10 years doing other things. Came back to it, went to the league, made more money consistently.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, you could jump the gun into something that, you know, on the surface looks more profitable, but at the same time, that one mistake, picking the wrong truck for the job, cost you everything.
Detroit engine. I'm just
Yes, no. And another thing too is people at these mega carriers, you can fall out of favor if you say the wrong thing to one person in Springfield, you're done. That's a wrap. They're gonna starve you out. It's that freaking simple, dude. If you start disagreeing, they can just be like, well, we just don't got good paying loads, and Law's over here just throwing money out the window like nothing went wrong. Like,
so, let me ask another. Let me propose something else though, because I'm big on this. If you make 60,000, you're a failure joint. This joint is like that. That's a hot take, my man. Like that's like if I said that, oh my god. So listen. They didn't like the example of the guy that comes in at 55 and is about to retire soon after, you know what I mean, do like 10 years or whatever the case may be, have he set up his pension package with whoever decides to hire him, whether it's Walmart or whoever, because they have that stuff set in. You just got to be old enough to know about it. Let's talk about the other end of the spectrum. You 21 years old.
Young
you
buck.
Working, yeah, you young buck, wet behind the ears. You've been working, you know, trash jobs. Literally, you take the trash out at the job. You ain't making nothing but like 12 grand a year. You know what I mean? You lucky if you see $1,000, $1,200 check every month. You know what I'm saying? You basically getting about 600 every 2 weeks. These jobs still exist, people. You slip and slide on I think it's called a NWA grant, some type of grant that we have out here in Illinois where they basically send you to trucking school for free. If you're in Illinois, please look it up, people. It's a life changer. You don't even have to pay. You just go get your CDL for free. It's at the unemployment office. You're 21. You stumble into the unemployment office. The unemployment office puts you up on this MEWA grant. I hate that I don't know the actual acronym, but they put you on this grant to get you your CDL, right? So now you didn't stumble into trucking school. All these people in trucking school, they got all these crazy ideas and they saying stuff out of their mouth, and most of them don't know nothing about nothing they talking about because they in trucking school, so they don't know anything. But they have some idea. They got an uncle that drives, so some of them got, you know, tidbit information, and they trying to put it together as best they can until they get out on the street. Then they realize, oh yeah, uncle's trash for that. That was bull crap what he was saying, but they figure it out. Okay. My point is, you $12,000 dude, you get your CDL, you go straight to the league. They get you easily 1,100 guaranteed a week. You're guaranteed. This is not a fake number. 1,100 guaranteed. You go some specialty tanker, something like that, you're gonna crack intermodal. You're gonna crack easily 1,100 a week on the guarantee side. They're gonna guarantee you that. If you make more than that, then you make more than that. But we're gonna guarantee that your check is 1,100 before taxes. So you instantly jump from making 11
from making 400 bi-weekly to now making $600 to $900 a
you
week.
600 minus the taxes like 515, something like that. You go from making that to making 1,100 a week. Okay, that's somewhere in the range of $57,000, 58. 12,000 to 58. You have 5 times, and you've been surviving with your mama or whoever your relatives is for $1,200, a month, and you go from making $1,200 a month to making $1,100 a week. And this is a guarantee out here, folks. You like, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm gonna live in a truck as a young buck, 21. I'm gonna buy me a Scat Pack. Scat Pack only gonna cost about 30 grand. Even though I ain't gonna drive the thing, I can have the thing on my phone. I got the good phone now. I was a Boost Mobile guy. I'm going straight to Verizon, AT&T. I'm getting a new joint.
Galaxy
21. I got the new phone. I got a Scat
unlimited data.
I got the Scat Pack.
The iPad. No, see, if you go get a new phone, you went to Verizon, so they gave you the iPad deal for the Lozy. So you got that joint too.
You went and got the iPad joint. That bill coming in somewhere, and it ain't even that much. It's like 200.
It's nothing. It's nothing
to a boss. Nothing to a boss. And it come with a nice data plan too. Data plan's pretty decent on that thing. Now you riding around the country, you living it up. You in a brand. The league then put you in a brand new Peterbilt.
2 miles.
No, I take that back. No, they're not. If you just company making 60, you gonna be in a freight shaker. Still brand new though.
You'll be doing better.
And you probably had like 3 or 4 paint jobs. You said, "Give me the blue one."
Nah, you did something crazy. You got your favorite team liveried all over it.
All over the joint.
So you stopped in that little spot over there by the Millennium, in the Millennium, the state
Stripes.
You stopped in Stripes, said, "I want to put Cubs everywhere."
All over it.
I got Chris Bryant on the side, hitting a home run off the side of your truck. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you telling biddies in the crib, you bought it, even though your company.
So you went from making somewhere around 12,000 to 14,000 a year to making 58,000 a year just by stumbling in the truck school and getting hired on with the league.
And you consider that success?
Do I?
Yes.
Hell yes, I do. Honestly, 5 times in your money? Yes. In a couple of months? Yes. At 21 years old, making 50 something grand? Yes, that's successful. Yes, I do.
Here's the hold on. Here's the
say we gotta put a perspective on it, because yes.
Here's the hard diggity numbers. Okay. And this is gonna sound like in Trevor's defense, but here's the facts, truth. Everybody is on the social media trying to be a boss. They're trying to say, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to do better than my last, everything like that. Generational wealth, all that. First of all, you cannot acquire any wealth or have money to stack wealth without $150,000. That's just rule 1. And that is from Harvard Economist. So if you're under 150, you're going to die with nothing. Just that simple. You may have a house here and there or whatever, but that you're not going to do the thing everybody say they want to do. And this is based on what the average people we see on IG and Facebook say they want to do, what they profess. It's 150. Now, if you let that go, you're good at 60. The problem comes in is that y'all will be saying all this on IG and then turn around and say 60 is enough. You can't do that, because if you're talking like that on IG, which we know 90% of people are, then you shouldn't be stopping till you see 150. And that's the bare minimum of wealth creation. That is like the bottom. Now, if you're not worried about that, you're just trying to, because when we're talking here and we're like, oh, that's enough for them. That's people who are just like, man, as long as I got a nice car, a nice crib, and I'm living a good life and take a vacation, I'm happy. That's a different sector than what we're seeing when we see these people talk. Every time we see somebody talk, it's boss this, getting money that, generational wealth this. They're all saying these numbers. And the truth of the matter, if you're talking that way, which 90% of you are, you shouldn't open your mouth so you hit $150,000. If you're at 60, based on what the most of the people profess, you are failing based on what you said you wanted. Now, if you said, I don't need that, I just want to live a good life, then you're actually winning in the 50s if you're in Alabama. You know what I mean? But you can't be in Alabama trying to put rims on the Scat Pack talking about we getting money. No, you're not. The problem is, if you're happy with this amount of money, if law comes around the corner at $180,000 a year and say, boy, you ain't getting no money, you wouldn't be offended. You would not be offended. You'd be like, well, yeah, that's not my aim. The truth is, if law comes up and says it, you'll get offended. Like, no, just because you know, bro, you're saying this is good enough. And then you're trying to get the accolades of what law is doing at the same time. You can't get them both.
You can't do both.
You got to choose. Are you a regular working guy, which there's nothing wrong with? Are you a quote unquote, lack of a better word, bossing up generational wealth?
Yeah, or boss.
You gotta choose. So when Trevor comes on here and say you ain't doing nothing, mathematically you're not. But you should be okay with that when you decided that $50,000, $60,000 a year was okay for you. You gotta pick one, man. You can't do them both. I tell you where it happens the most in the whole world. The most in the whole world. It's when you go around your family and they've been at a job for 20, 30 years. They just now hitting 62,000 plus benefits. And then law sits down and he's like, yo, my truck blew up. I'm about to go buy another one for 25% of what you make that year. That's when the hate comes right there. Oh, what are you doing? How much are you making? Then he says how much you make. And it's like, yeah, I would do that, but I'm the type of person. No, don't pick sides. You chose to do this job and you get what comes with it. Just like if law was to run balls to the wall, he wouldn't know his kids. His health would freaking suck. He would lose his old lady, but he would be making the money. But that's the choice that he made.
Yeah, I'd be buying a boat, but all that other stuff is absolutely true.
It's gone. Then it's like
the problem is my boat would be fine though.
Okay, you're gonna get the boat. We get the boat. But the problem is this. What old boy said before. There is no balance. There is no balance. I'm not in the truck no more. I can't say I'm a super trucker. That's a choice I made. It's that freaking simple. I can't say it either. I look down on super truckers because I hate them to death, but I can't say that anymore. I can't say I'm the best trucker in the world because I'm not driving. Y'all don't want to make a choice. You want to make 60, but get the accolades of someone who makes 180 and have their own business, and then turn around and say you're a good mother on the other end, and then turn around and say you're a good father on the other end, but you're never home. Then you want to turn around and say, you know about business, but you're not in business. Then then you'll do all these things and then say, well, money and everything is all about family. So now the signal is freaking crossed. Pick a side. You either get money, cat, with a glowing dent jersey, over the top, or you care about your family, you make enough for them to live a good life, and you're happy with what the cards dealt to you. Make a choice. Stop straddling the fence.
Super Bowl MVP, Richard Dent jersey.
Trevor, what do you think about what I just said?
You're correct. I'm thinking people are getting mixed up what I said. I said if you're still a company at a mega carrier after 2 years making 60, you're doing this wrong. You're failing. I never said you had to go lease. I never said you had to go on or off. I know a company that comes on this channel paying $102,000 a year salary.
Wow.
Like you can still do the company and make money.
Yeah.
But you're getting booty raped by mega carriers. Their purpose is to teach you how to do this job and mess up their equipment before you mess up a good company's equipment.
Hmm. The true Walmart drivers. And I've said this years ago. The
Walmart's
main
100.
the main people winning. I'm talking about the true Walmart drivers, the ones who actually got to wear the button up. They're freaking winning, dude. They're winning, man. Their numbers range from where they live, but I haven't seen nothing under 100 after 3 years.
What does that guy look like though?
He looks all different colors.
No, I'm saying so on a large percentage, there's not a specific type that you see driving that Walmart truck.
Well, it will be more on the age. They're a little bit older. They are a little bit older. But this is the thing. You technically only need 5 years to get in. They're just the people who did the lease stuff. It failed a few times. They lost money, and they finally said, I want something with some structure. And they seen the benefit of sliding into a Walmart job. And that usually comes with the maturity of around a certain age. Because they're getting home every other day, every 3 days. And they're seeing this kind of money. Now you got to wear a button up. That's where they kill. I'm not wearing a button up. You can kill yourself on that. I'm not doing it. But if you do it, you wear that white button up with no stains and do what they tell you. They're 100 plus, man. That's a dang good job. But no one came on here. I haven't seen it yet. No one come on here and talk about the real Walmart drivers. Where are those videos?
They don't want to talk.
Coach talked about it a little while, a few years ago. He did it for a little bit, but he's in with all the mother idiots now, so I don't watch them anymore.
Yeah, I didn't watch them from jump, but I do know that they're not talked about at mass right now. People only talk about 3 or 4 things. They talk about the success stories of buying a tricked out truck. They talk about lease or company. They talk about OTR or local. That's it. No one's really talking about how good some of these lumber jobs are in the Northeast, Northwest. No one's talking about that some of those jobs are pensions. No one's also discussing train conductors. And if you have a class CDL, you can slide into that job very easily. No one's talking about that job either. No one's talking about Greyhound dudes. No one's talking about charter buses.
You make a year's salary in the oil field in 6 months.
This is true. I hate the oil field. I hated the lifestyle.
It's work.
The lifestyle.
If that, you could do it in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, you can do it in 3 or 4 months if you pick the right division. This is what I'm saying. We only talk about a few things. I did the oil field for a year. I made $2,700 a week driving a Class B truck. Did I hate my life? Completely. But the money is actually there. There is more than one way to skin a cat. And it depends on what you're trying to do. I tell you the biggest reason why this is so confusing. The fact is nobody knows what they want to do. They have no idea. They're arguing a point with no side.
This is my thing. I don't, and that's because I have a different way of thinking than some, but your own company is the ultimate success to me. I mean, some people could think that, being a company driver, being a lease driver, own op, all these different words, charter bus or whatever, that's not your company. So to me, if you're not doing it on your own company and going out there and getting customers on your own and negotiating your own rates and being able to teach people the game of how to own their own company or managing your own company and bringing people in and securing them jobs and securing jobs for people that you love or like or good people, then to me, you unsuccessful. So I got a crazy way of thinking, to some.
That is a crazy way because it can't be too many chiefs. It has to be some Indian. So that's sustainable for the whole country.
That's facts. It can't be a gang of chiefs, but you could definitely chief it out.
Right. You can argue that point.
You could be a one-man band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. King the Trucker just bought a charter bus.
You could be a one-man band, but if you wanted to help other people get jobs and be successful and make whatever they heart desire, you're in that position to do that. That's what success to me, not working for anybody, not making none of these mega carriers, small mom and pops, whatever you want to classify the company as. I don't care how small or big the company is. You're still making somebody else rich instead of making yourself the money. And in all actuality, let's just put it out there. Trucking is a scam. Okay.
Oh,
Everything we're talking about, we got to talk about in the scam mentality. All right. There is no other field that you could get in that people pinch and grab off your money before you touch it as much as trucking does. You don't know what half you guys as company drivers or even owner operators don't even know what that rate is before it gets to you. You could be driving a load that's making $10 a mile and getting paid 50 cents a mile on it. And you have no clue that this load is paying $10 a mile. Riding around some Victoria's Secret panties. You have no idea. You just show up to Victoria's Secret Bath and Body Works, with all they merch in the back. They didn't just pay somebody an arm and a leg. You listening to a dispatcher like, look, don't stop before 250 miles. Make sure you up. Don't do this. Don't do that. Boom, get it there. You like, no problem. You gonna give me an extra this or that? And you don't even know. You getting, man, bro. They smiling ear to ear because you running something that's $10 a mile, 50 cents, 60 cents. And even if they say, all right, be a good boy, we'll give you 80 cents on this load. You just went ear to ear and got raped for $9.
Outlaw Trucker says, I call BS. Trucking is easy. What I've been through was hard to get there. I've been welder, trash driver, demolition crew, building on, working around 3M plants to steel lines. Other words, what law is saying, according to Outlaw Trucker, is crap.
I don't think if he meant that for me, if that shot was for me, then he needs to. Oh my God. I'm not even going. I'm gonna approach it from an educational perspective. All right. I'm not even gonna get dirty and messy. But listen, or whoever else this bullet could be aimed at. If you work for 80 cents a mile, I don't care how easy the job is, I don't care how long, how many miles, how easy it was to do. I don't care if there was no traffic getting there. I don't give a damn about any of the circumstances on the easiness of the work. If you drive any load that's in the dollars, 6, 7, 8, whatever, 3, 4, and you do that load for 70 cents, you're a pet, you're a monkey, you're cage that that can't pick the lock. And until you pick the lock and get out of the cage and learn what these rates really are and learn how to go direct to shipper, because that is the bottom line when it comes to trucking, is to stop getting lubed up, stop letting somebody else put it in you, and figure out how hard they've been putting it in you, because you've been getting it. If you're a company driver, lease, whatever you're doing for any company, if it's not your company, you're getting lubed, my guy.
Mr. Jason.
It's a scam.
Jason, you officially just agreed with Trevor.
So listen, yeah, of course.
You're officially just agreed with Trevor.
I was definitely a Trevor man. I was playing devil's advocate.
Me and Law get along a lot more than we put off that we do.
Yeah, this is hold on, let's stop. First of all, let's stop. Let's everybody stop.
Right.
Stop. This is totally Law and Trevor's thing. I want that to be clear from jump. That is Law and Trevor's words. Now let's reiterate what Law said. If you ain't owner op, you're a monkey. That's what he said.
I can't say that.
No, don't say that, Trevor. Please.
I could go one step further. Like what Trevor said, I get it. I get what he's saying. And I just was playing devil's advocate, and I understand what he's saying. And it makes perfect sense to me, but to others, it's not. But to me, like I say, if we going to have this conversation and I'm going to get crucified for it, I'm going to go balls to the wall, baby.
You're a monkey.
You're a monkey.
He's saying,
if you don't see it that way, then I can't help you. I can't help you. If you're getting paid 50 cents, 70 cents, $1, and these lows pay $6,
Mr. Phil,
the only difference from you getting $6 is your communication skills and your lack of preparation of paperwork.
I'm sorry, but I'm very taken aback by your stance, Law.
Hey,
A
hey,
monkey, my guy? A
A
monkey?
monkey.
chimp. I know some smart chimps out there, bro. Some smart chimps. So
First of all, this message is coming to you from podcast or die trying. Trucker Brown and New Regime by no way agrees with what he is saying at all.
Neither does Just Phil TV. Because
Please
good grief.
understand that. Call Trevor. He's gonna be on a bike. Get him and get Law. They're saying you're a monkey. You. Let me drop the link for them to call in. Let me drop the link.
monkey, man. You're a
Because
monkey.
I understand, but you got to pick a better term, my guy, because
That's
that's
too late.
just
I know.
nuts.
That's too late. Call.
Trevor.
This is what I need people to do. This is what I need people to do right now. Hold on, everybody back out. This is what I need people to do. I'm dropping. I see you smoking, Trevor. We're gonna have that conversation later. I'm dropping the link for you to call in and ask Law, why am I a monkey? Why am I less than human? Why? Why am I not a good person? Call in right now and press Law. You can press him right now. I'm gonna let you do it, bro. He want the beef. He want the stress. He want the all of it. Call in and ask him, how am I a monkey? That comes from Podcast or Die Trying. Cat get a couple of LED lights and they change on you. That's the first thing they do. Like, I'm changing. I got LED lights and a road mic, so I'm different. I didn't say that. I still think y'all are people, man. He's saying, by scientific terms, you are a subhuman. You are a variation of Homo sapien. Not the missing link, the one before. I didn't say it. I think you're good Americans that's moving our country. I just want to get out ahead of this right now because this is going to be everywhere, bro. I'm letting you know right now. I think y'all are good Americans that are working, helping to move our country. Christian, you eat apple pie just like me. You drive Ford trucks, Chevy trucks. You believe everybody. You support the troops. I think you're still good people. Who has the cojones to call in and press Law right now? Who has the cojones? It's only how you learn life. Phil, I don't think no one has the kahunas to call in and press Law.
Man, listen, that's like I said, he could say failure, he could say a lot of things, but to say a monkey, my
A
guy,
monkey.
especially in today's climate, like that's nuts. Like, I understand everybody has their goals, everybody has definition of success. I still stand on my stance that if you are above the poverty line, you are successful.
Right.
But to say that you are subservient if you are not achieving a certain level of income is just beyond words for me.
No, you see, you said subservient. He said subhuman. That means you are a variation of Homo sapien. You're not evolved.
That is terrible.
Hold on, we got someone to come in and press him. Hold on. Mr. Bennett.
What's up, bro?
Come on now, you gotta have my back on this. You heard what Law said, didn't you?
Man, it's difficult, man. Just gonna be honest with you because I see where he's coming from.
Okay. Oh, you breaking up, man.
He's on somebody's fort right now in the woods.
You breaking up, man.
I'm not
Law.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Like, but see, I did armed security, right? And we working for multi-billion-dollar companies that's making $150 an hour per officer when they're only paying you $20 an hour. So you gotta, I understand where he's coming from, but you gotta put yourself in a position to where you can level up and make more. Most people don't want to do that because they get comfortable. The system has programmed not all of us, but most of us at a certain point to be stagnant where we are by being comfortable and not want to take the responsibility to go up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I understand what he's saying. The whole monkey statement, yeah, that's a bit of a gun punch. I expect that from his perspective, from a former soldier. I mean, they can speak a little harsh, but I take no offense to it. I mean, if you like your peanuts and the way you run it, then hey, do you? That ain't for me though. I know I'm meant for more, so you ain't gonna just pay me what you
Is
feel like I'm supposed
everybody
to do.
that's not meant for more a monkey?
Right.
You know, you gotta want to do better for yourself, man. Some people just happy where they are.
Wow.
And a point to be made here before somebody throws it out there, because you know it's going to go left. This is a class thing, not a race thing.
This is a class. See, this is the see y'all are fighting the real struggle in American to European history is class. That's the real war. And what Law is saying is he's a better class than you. That's all he's saying. He's just saying you're under him.
I didn't.
He's worth more.
I didn't say that.
What's the most important thing in America?
Money.
What's the most important thing in America? Money. It's not black or white. It's not male or female. It's whether you're a business or an employee. That's the two big. That's what separates. How they treat you is based on whether or not your status is, are you an employee or are you a business?
Classism.
90% of the tax law is benefit businesses. 90% of the tax law is written to benefit business. But we've been taught to be employees. Why? Because they want sheep, they want cattle.
They want monkeys.
See, I seen the video of where
$1,400
they had all of these sheep going into slaughter. They had one black sheep leading the rest. He bails off to the right, but everybody else goes straight. They don't know no different. They following the system. So it's a class thing. I mean, you getting into a $1 trillion industry and you don't want to level up and do better. All I can say is, man, you need to change your friends and change what you're learning.
And you know what? You know how I know that some of this is sketchy because y'all not even calling in to refute what he's saying.
Or don't, because they know they being scammed in the trucking industry. Let me break something else down to y'all. Okay. Everybody that's in trucking right now, y'all should know. Load needs to go from point A to point B. In order for it to get from point A to point B, the shipper has to talk to somebody that's going to move the load from point A to point B. So, number one on the list is the shipper, the customer, the person that needs the product moved from point A to point B. How many of y'all know how many people the shipper has talked to before it gets to you to move that load from point A to point B?
Oh boy, let's talk about it. First, they're talking to their broker contact. The broker contact then shops it to their carriers. Their carriers then shop it to their drivers, and then they pick you, number X5730, off the board of fresh, unbewildered drivers to move this high dollar freight from here to Nantucket.
Now let's break something else down. There's the thing that they do now because of the internet and everything. That's this dude.
This guy.
I literally pulled my truck over. Hold on. Where is it at? I literally pulled my truck over to go buy a banana because apparently I'm a freaking monkey. Yes, I literally pulled my truck over to go stop at this pilot and buy a banana.
Yo, you a different kind of ignorant, dog.
I'm all the way ignorant. All the way.
Do you agree with what Law is saying that they're monkeys? Do you agree with that? What do y'all say?
These salacious, I feel attacked. I feel so attacked. You know, I'm just out here, you know, just minding my own business, you know.
He's eating the banana. Jesus Christ. I hate this going.
Ooh,
I can't stand you, dog.
Yo, I'm just not. Messington.
Can I get some banana emojis in the comments, please? Come on, y'all. Can I get some emojis in the comments?
This is quality content today, like all the way ignorant.
If you feel what I'm saying about people touching your money, can I get some banana emojis in the comments. That's all.
Hold on. Y'all do the banana emojis. Gentle Giant Drew says he has to come in on this.
All right. Laura, are you talking just particularly trucking or in general?
Just because we on the trucking platform, I'm talking just trucking in general.
Okay.
So does this? Where does this General Monkey live? Where does he live?
Hey,
I think the general is Law, right? He's the one who said it, so he's in charge, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, put him on the screen. I don't want to see nobody else but Law.
Some of these monkeys got great looking cages. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't be an ape in the jungle.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all are confusing. Gentle Drew, what did you have to say about that?
Well, I wanted to ask if it was just for trucking or in general, because I had something to say. My mom just retired, and she's like 57, and she was a teacher, and she is able to fully retire and live off of what she saved as a school teacher in Arizona. So do you know how much money teachers make? Do you know how much money they have to pay themselves to give their own student supplies because the parents won't pay for it?
Nothing. They make nothing.
Exactly. And my mom retired at 57. 401k, her pension, all that stuff. She's able to retire. So she just sold her parents' house after they died like 10 years ago. She just sold that.
She showing his ass up, Phil.
And now she's able to retire. And now she's actually spending a whole 2 months in Buffalo in a beautiful Airbnb.
Salutes to her, because that's not easy in that sector.
No, it's not.
And she was able to do it because she divorced my dad.
Now the story.
Okay.
Oh Lord, it's getting messy.
Did your daddy retire her or did she retire?
She actually retired. She just, or because of COVID and everything, she was high risk. Her doctor was like, "Look, you're gonna have a heart attack if you don't
you ducking the
retire."
question there, Giant.
Oh,
did she get money from the divorce?
Yeah, well, they got divorced like 15 years ago. So, she got, I think, maybe half the house. Like that was pretty much it. Everything else paid off the debt.
Okay, that's
so whatever the house. I mean, my dad was a vice president of security solutions at a pharmaceutical company in Chicago. So the house was like probably $350,000 plus whatever the 401k was, which at the time probably wasn't that much because it got split in two.
Yeah, isn't he?
But still, I mean,
basically
as a single mother of two kids, able to retire at 57. You know,
hey,
and not have to worry about it.
Listen, John, you just threw a wrench in his classes. Hold on. Let's 1 second. Let's pull this up. You just threw a wrench in his classes. Arrogant, chauvinistic, misogynistic, materialistic view.
It's not really materialistic. This is just facts. These are just facts. Okay, so let me break something down to y'all because I haven't gotten a chance to break it down.
Go ahead.
Do y'all think that this is awesome? You're just doing a bang up job. If you move a load, okay, it comes from the shipper. The shipper then gives it straight to the carrier, the mega carrier, because they give them the guarantee that the load is going to, the bigger the company, the more the guarantee the load is going to get moved on in a timely manner. That's the thought process. You have more trucks and more drivers, then most likely you'll be able to get the load moved with no problem. That's how people look at it, and that's how they base the scores and everything, how many loads you moving for how long and whatever the case may be. The shipper gives the load to a mega carrier. Now, said mega carrier is, and they don't care. I hate Curtis.
I can't stand you.
I hate this dude. Said mega carrier. Why is he got this seat though? The idiot. Said mega carrier. Let's just throw it out there as JB Hunt. Okay. JB Hunt gets the load. Now, after JB Hunt gets the load, let's say they don't even want to move it because they got so much freight. They don't even want to move the load. They then attach it to a load board. Now, boom, that's the four. That's where we at. 1, 2. So we on 3. The load board is 3. Now, once it's on the load board, brokers can get to it. Now, after the load board pinch what they're gonna pinch off posting the load, the broker's gonna get it. Now, once the broker gets it, They could broker it out to another broker if they want, but let's say they didn't. Let's say they brokered it out to a driver. So at the broker level, we on 4. Then it gets to you, and this is best case. This is like probably best case scenario for you. 5th, you're the 5th person to touch that money. Is that? I mean, does that? If you think about it, when you could have just picked up the phone and called the shipper yourself, and did the proper work over the years, and called the shipper yourself, does that make sense for you to be 5th to touch the money? Does it? I mean, let's just talk about it like that. So there's levels of being a monkey or whatever the case you want to be. If the word monkey offends you, I don't care. I don't care. You still in a cage waiting for somebody to let you out and go take the load off. Like, yeah, go do it, Chip. Where you could have been whatever animal, the tiger, the lion, the elephant, whichever one you think is the biggest in the jungle and the baddest in the jungle, you could have been the elephant. You could have been the JB Hunt that called the shipper and got the load directly at the rate that you wanted it for.
I got a wrench to throw in there for you.
Your money.
I got a wrench to throw in there for you.
I hate Curtis.
This guy. Okay. All right. So we just going full coon today. I see. All right. But my question to throw in there is, with that being said, in light of how many people really touch our money before we even know it exists in this industry, at what point do you cross over from being a driver to, if you decide to stay in this realm of logistics, at what point do you go from being the driver to the guy that's behind the desk, or the guy that's pushing the button, or the guy that's negotiating between you and the actual driver? How do you make that transition if you decide to even do that?
So it's quite simple. It's as easy a question to answer as any other question you ever answered in your life. It's whenever the hell you feel like it. That's the honest to God truth. It's whenever you feel like it.
Hold on.
Whenever you feel like it.
Hold on, y'all. 1 second. I'll pull y'all right back in. Right back in. Matthew. Come on now. You got to be able to say your piece, bro. I'm giving you the floor.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You have the floor and all the attention. What's up?
Yeah.
Say again. I guess not.
So let me break this down. Okay, there are levels to monkey, to being a monkey. You could be Curious George all the way up to King Kong. Now, I do believe that there are a lot of happy monkeys in the jungle. That's why we do it. You know what I mean? I've been a monkey. I ain't saying you're successful if you're a monkey. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, in what other industry would you allow somebody to touch your money 4 times before you get it? Why wouldn't you just go straight to the person that's paying? You wouldn't do that in probably no other industry. No other industry. Would you let somebody, maybe real estate? And in real estate, I don't think it's 4 times. There's levels to people getting touched on in real estate too. Facts.
Yeah, that runs pretty deep too.
It does. It definitely does, between the company that picks on that gets the properties. You know what I'm saying? These mega 21st century type cats, your big real estate agencies. Yeah, they touch all over these properties before they even allow you to get to your commission of selling it. They touching all over it. So in trucking, though, trucking is one of the only, I ain't gonna say one of the only, trucking is
most prominent.
It's a scam, bro. It's a scam. How many other industries that you could do legally step on the product that much, where you don't even have to drive the truck to make money on moving the load? You don't have to drive the truck to make money on moving the load. It's just that simple. You're taking a product from A to B. They make it more difficult. If you don't know how to take the product from A to B, how is it possible for you to make money on getting that product from A to B? Just by sitting on the phone, just by saying, okay, I got this load for $6 a mile. Boom, I'm finna contract it out for $3 a mile. I'm about to make half the money just by making a call and saying, "Hey, chimps, here's a banana."
So the brokers are the enemy.
That reference, but that's just what it is. I'm not gonna sweeten it up for you and say, "Oh, they, I'm not gonna put it in good terms because I want you to be angry and I want you to be fueled by what I'm saying so that you could get off your buttocks and do research.
Thank you for cleaning that up, Law. I know that was hard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough.
Hold on real quick. Trevor, did you have something to put in on that?
I think the less people that touch your money, the better. But with this industry, you really can't get away from at least 2-3 people touching your money. It's a game, and you got to play it to win and get as much as you can out of it before you're 58 and dead with diabetes.
That's what I'm saying. That's the mind frame that we've been taught to as truck drivers to accept. Now I'm telling you in the beginning, yeah, there's nothing you can do for Trevor's statement. Once you get your CDL and you go to your first company, yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. But once you've built up enough years in this game and you know how to do the driving portion of this scenario, you should be pushing yourself to do more than just drive a truck, because there is definitely something you can do to keep so many people from touching your money. It's not that hard. It really isn't, people.
Well, let's break that down, because you say it's not hard, but a lot of people don't understand what goes into that. There's paperwork involved, and more importantly, there's money involved when you start talking about the different ways to separate less people from putting their hands in your pot, so to speak.
Now let me break that down. Okay. You can't live like P. Diddy on, let's say you went to the league. Why do I have media playing in my background getting all my shine? Stop it, people. Hold on, I gotta fix that. I'm sorry, y'all.
All right. But I just want to add, like, most direct shippers, they're not going to work with you unless you have like 20 trucks.
It takes that's not true. That's true for some people. Like, you can't start at that level. That's what I'm saying. You can't. It's a start.
Well, that's the only way where people don't touch your money is if you get direct freight.
Exactly. That's the only way. But getting direct freight ain't as hard as it seems.
No, I go in the shipping office everywhere I go and ask if they're looking for.
Right. That's what you're supposed to do. Or what you can do is keep every bill that you get when you gotta take a picture of it in your phone. If you're not using an app that actually sends that picture to your phone, then you need to get one. I hate this dude.
I'm so sick of this guy.
That thing you're gonna be throwing poop at the camera.
Jesus Christ. If you throw poop at the phone, I'm a Jesus.
But the point I'm making too, though, is, like I said, to even be at that level, two things got to be together. Like I said, your money and your paperwork, whether it be the size of your company or the relationships that you built, or, like I said, understanding the higher levels of paperwork that are necessary to even get to that point in the first place. That's not something that most, if any at all, can do. That's a very, very elite few that can achieve that level, building from the ground zero. Because the ones that do it are usually people
short.
I think you're cutting people too short, because I would argue that the paperwork that it takes to do that and the amount of knowledge that it takes to do that takes less skill than somebody that can.
Well, if that's the case, why isn't that the common preach thing when we get our CDLs in the first place?
Because we have already a set standard that's being preached to each other in these trucking communities, that it's okay to not go straight to the shipper. It's okay not to achieve that goal. It's okay. You could just work with somebody else. You could just not have the burden of paying their insurance, not have the burden of opening up a company and worrying about drivers, not have the burden of doing any paperwork, not have the burden of paying attention to how much gas you pump in the truck. You don't have to pay attention to that. If somebody's gonna give you 6 figures and give you a decent lifestyle, then why would I worry about how much gas I'm putting in the truck? Why would I worry about my IFTA? Why would I worry about my BOC3? Why would I worry about my
WD?
But
What's the
here's a
heavy duty tax?
here's a point to
WD
make too.
The
540.
290 heavy highway, the highway tax, the heavy highway
Right.
tax.
Here's a point to make too. While you are correct in saying that the information is there and it's definitely available to those who want to achieve it, even with that being said, just relative to people's situations, that's not smart for everyone to do, because people have to take care of families, people have to care for all these other things that are outside of the relevancy of what they do in trucking. Yes, that we have to understand that when we get into this business, if you're going to achieve those levels, you have to be willing to accept failure. And a lot of people can't do that, whether it be because of circumstance or just not being mentally capable or in the position to handle accepting a failure. You got to understand that is a different cloth to be cut from.
Everybody can't be a chief. You're absolutely right when it comes to
we
that.
act like we haven't been in conversations with some of these people, bro. Like, come on. Some of the stuff you're talking about is way beyond their capabilities. Way. And another thing too, it can't be for everybody.
Let me ask
Everybody
you a question.
can't do it.
Let me ask you a question. You're right. Everybody can't do it. Everybody can't be a brain surgeon. Everybody can't be an air traffic controller. Everybody can't do everything. You're absolutely right. But let me ask you this question, okay? This is so tough because I just, like I say, I think differently. But let me ask you this question. Did I not come on here and play devil's advocate for 60,000 and saying that is enough money?
True.
So don't get this mixed up, people. Okay, there's a difference between the money conversation and people touching on your money conversation. Okay, you can make $60,000 in trucking with less people touching your money and do absolutely nothing. Really, like really drive like up the road and back home and have enough time to spend time with your kids, and you could do all of that and make a decent amount of money, enough to pay over the bills, and you're not even in the truck, nothing but 2 days a week. There's people out there. Facts. These are facts. These are not, I'm not making this up. You could work 2 days a week and make 60 grand and spend the rest of that time with your family.
Right.
You can work 3 days a week or 4 days a week and make over 100K and spend the rest of that time. You could literally split your week with work and family. Nobody else really does that. Anybody that's working a 40-hour work schedule is not doing that. You could do that in trucking. You could make 6 figures and split your week in half. So if you could do that, why wouldn't you? And if you don't, that's fine. Some people don't even want to be around their family. So I get that argument. Like, I want to be home with you.
Hold on. Greg, is that you?
Yeah, this me, man. What's going on, y'all?
You got something to say about the subject? You usually don't call in, man. I'm surprised.
No, I'm always sitting in the background, but man, this junk it just kind of made me feel some kind of way, man. People in the trucking industry are so small-minded, though, man. It's like it's more to the trucking industry than just trucking,
right?
And we got to realize that as a whole. You got to realize that stuff come on ships. From here, you got to get from the ship to somewhere. I mean, it's just more than just trucking. Figure out how to get in them pockets from when it's coming off the ship. You know what I'm saying? They need storage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Warehousing. I mean, it's just so much to trucking than just trucks. I use trucking as a tool. This is what's going to help me fuel to get to other things like freight brokering, to figuring out how to get to them docks and get the stuff off the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Commercial property.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Commercial property, land. You know what I'm saying? Get land so you can lease out to Primes, the Swifts, all these other, because they need drop yards. It's just so more than just trucking. I ain't gonna be driving all day. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm trying to be sitting behind a desk like these other big cats making money.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The person winning in trucking is sitting behind the desk.
Exactly.
That's the fact.
He doesn't
Big facts.
and he's never had a CDL before. Ever.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So many ways where you make money in this industry. You know what I'm saying? There's so many. You know, and that's how I'm trying to be like Uber. Don't own nothing, but I'm running things.
Exactly.
That's tough.
That's a true statement. Hold on real quick. Trevor, what'd you have to say?
I got two last things to say,
Okay.
and then I'm getting off because I got to drive again.
Mm-hmm.
But life is about two things: it's the sacrifices you make and the relationships you make. All right, and to quote Dave Ramsey, you got to live like no one else now, so you can live like no one else tomorrow, later, if you understand.
Bars.
Those are two most important things you'll ever hear me say: sacrifices and relationships.
Mm. I appreciate you for calling in, Trevor. I must be doing good with my live stamina because I have outlived you, and you're getting off. So that means I'm doing great. Don't do drugs. I hope you're on for Twitch later on because we
No,
are playing Resident Evil 3.
yeah, I'll be on. Oh yeah, one more thing: if you ain't watching the Twitch live stream of the gameplays, you're failing too. So watch that, or you're a failure.
Mm.
Y'all have a good day.
Don't do drugs, Trevor.
Won't later.
Listen, I've always said there's two
Hey,
ways.
Trevor woke up and chose violence, bro.
Yeah, there's two things that I tell people all the time. It's really what I learned from being a hard runner and being addicted to trying to run my clock right, doing extra and being gone all the time, leaving 4 or 5 months at a time. It really is not about how much money you make. It's about what was that? It's about the amount of effort it takes you to make that dollar.
Facts. That's all I'm saying.
That's a bar. Good Lord. Say that again.
All I'm saying, bro.
It's the amount of effort. So if the hold on one second.
Yeah, what is they shooting in this background? What's going on, bro? Hey.
All right, I'm sorry. I think there was somebody at the door or something like that. You know, I don't like people coming up to the 30th floor. But listen, what I'm saying is this: if it takes you your health, all of your time, all of your brain power, your sanity, your relationship, if you have to sacrifice all of that to just make $200,000, the person who is making $80,000 by just typing something on a computer, he's killing you. He's freaking winning, bro. He's winning. Not only does he keep his sanity, which means he can keep up $80,000 and his health, he can keep it up longer. I do the same correlation when I talk about the NFL and I talk about show business, which is why I started New Regime Entertainment, because your boy Russell Simmons said the biggest problem we have, well, I'll say blue collar to be completely nice, but all the people who know the revolutionary principles know what I'm talking about. But blue collar, he says the problem we have is there's no button pushers. Now, the guy who goes into the NFL has a 3-4 year career, right? He may get hurt in the first year, may get hurt on the fourth year. We'll say his average careers, we'll call it, what's the average career in the NFL? 4 years?
6, 7.
We'll call it 6. The guy that's filming on that hydraulic arm with the camera on it, that dude makes $350 a year. And he can do it for 40 years.
And in the new age, the drone pilots for these events.
The drone pilots. Not only that, it's union. The people who set all the cameras up and the lights before the game start, they're freaking union. They're 90 to 120 a year. They can do it for 40 years.
And they get the best donuts.
Now, peep what I'm trying to say. The NFL player may get a $5 million, $10 million contract, not thinking 80% of the time, because y'all can watch ESPN broke. I'm not making this up. 80% of the time, they go broke. And that camera dude has another 3.5 decades to be winning. And he doesn't have to get his knee replaced. He doesn't have to get, what's the injury stuff with the helmets? What do you call that? The ED? Concussions. He doesn't have to get concussions. He doesn't have to deal with the media. He has to do nothing. He's just living well, bro. He's just living well.
It's like CRT or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something like
CRT. What we got to understand is The amount of money is not just the success, because if you level up the stress, the body damage, the people suing you, compared to the guy making $300,000-$400,000 a year just filming it or being on the crew or directing the crew, really, who is winning here? He just jumps in his Sonata and goes home. That's what I'm trying to let people know.
CTE, just a
CTE, which rots your brain. It does a lot of crazy. There's a lot of videos and movies on it. Will Smith made a movie. So that's why I say I like to get in the background and understanding how something works. How does it work? If you don't understand how something works, you're gonna have to be in that position. Now can everybody do that? No. Would everybody be happy trying to take lead? No. And that's where I think that the premise comes into a problem. Some people genuinely will have an overall happy, content life doing what they're freaking doing. The problem is on YouTube is if we make a compelling enough argument, it will become trendy. And people will feel like I'm not nothing unless I do it. If you go to the league and drive company for 25 years and you have a decent 401k and you live life and you are happy, you are successful to you. You are successful. You left a happy life because there's only one thing you're supposed to be doing on earth. It ain't procreating and it damn sure ain't getting married. There's only one thing you're supposed to be doing on earth, and that is finding peace. That is the only objective to being here. You're here for a limited amount of time, and you're trying to find as much peace and contentment and happiness as you can find during that time before you check out, because ain't none of us making out of here. That's when you see me switch gears on my channel, and it was like, then I understood that my goal of making money was not what I needed. I search for peace. It is the most valuable thing under time, because time is the most valuable thing in the universe. It's find your peace. If your peace isn't driving a truck, then don't do it. If your peace isn't owning a truck, do not do it. The happiest time I ever had in trucking was as a monkey.
Facts.
Was as a monkey for Melton Truck Lines. That is the happiest time of my career.
And just to not be misconstrued, everybody in this current chat has the capability of doing 7 figures. But relatively speaking, I can't speak for 1011 because they have different plans, but speaking for myself, 7 figures is not going to bring me peace and happiness. I have what number I need to be happy. I'm going to hit that number pretty swiftly, and that's just going to be it. I'm just going to live my life.
So let me put out 2 points, okay? And this is true. And if it ain't true for you, then I don't know. I don't think we could talk. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing I could talk to you about. Okay?
Right.
Your 2 goals in life should be, when it comes to employment, just what you do for me.
Section it off.
Your 2 goals in life for employment, when it comes to making money for doing whatever job that you're doing, is 1, how to do less for more. Okay. You learn how to do something, and then you learn how to do less of it for more money because of your knowledge and how you know how to, maneuver.
That's a whole bar.
So that's 1. Okay. Is how to make more money by doing less. 2 is to actually do something that you like, that is not going to drive you up a wall. Those are the 2. You make a whole bunch of money for something that you like. You wake up and you would do it for free.
An old man told me, he said, do what you do for free. Just charge.
That's it.
Whatever you do for free, that's what you should be doing for a living. Like there's a guy that is at a Hustler magazine or at the Playboy Mansion, and all he does is oil the ladies up. That's his whole job. Like that's it.
He's called. I was fluffer, sir. The proper name is a fluffer.
Of course, no, that's the person that actually does a sexual act to get the person. Sometimes there's an oil up dude that just oils the women. Now, flip that coin. In bodybuilding, there's an oil up lady that oils those dudes up by hand before they go out into the thing. Has the best turnover rate in the business. Do what you would be doing anyway. And that's probably what you'll be doing for the longest time.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. That's something I've often pondered back in my past of many adventures and things that I've had to overcome in my lifetime, that my biggest regret, if there is even to live without a regret, because I don't live with regrets, but if I were to ever have a regret, was to walk away from doing what I actually love doing and making a career out of that.
Which
for that would be wrenching on cars and fixing computers. But because of the environment and the people that were around me, I let them talk me out of doing both of those things.
And I'm telling you that I'm going to make it possible for that to at least be half of what you make in trucking or more than what you make in trucking. But we talk offline, and we know what we're talking about with that, because you are in a circle. You are in a circle of people. That's why I say one of the craziest things someone can say is breathing life. If you are in my circle is to figure out what you want to do, and I'm going to push you. That's why it is hard to be a friend of mine. It's hard. Randomly, I can jump over to 1011 Trucking's page and just SEO check them for no reason. And then I'm in the inbox like, why didn't this have tags? That can happen at any random time, because on one hand, a person say, oh, just mind your business. No, if you're in my freaking circle, your thing is to do better. See, most people's circles of friends, and see, y'all don't put me on a tangent. Most people's circles of friends do not have something I think.
Oh, wow.
Circle of friends should have, which is, what should a circle of friends and or a family have? An agenda. They have no agenda. They don't know what they're trying to get done. They don't know why they're trying to do it. My basic agenda, mission statement to my circle is simple. Do better. That's the first one. Number 2 is learn what it is that you profess you're trying to do. Number three is take action. Number 4 is do not have an unfixable problem. I hate unfixable problems because there's no such thing. Do better. Whatever that may be. That could be trying to get law to stop eating meat, which you think I forgot about. I have not. That could be stop drinking alcohol. That could be stop doing drugs. That could be stop BNSing up on your YouTube. That could be Gold Phoenix, why I don't see no tags on these videos. That is what my purpose is if I'm around the section. Now, I'm not the smartest person in my circle. If I need to know about computers, I bug Phil. Don't matter the time of the day. I've woken him up a few times. It's not working.
He definitely calls. Which I'm fine with. It's
I'm
all
about
good.
to call you too, Phil. It's very soon. I got some questions, bro.
That is the point.
F-150.
But if you are around people that's just going to say, oh, Greg, you got to be white with $30 million to get onto the port and make some money. That ain't helping him get to where he going. So why did you even say it? Even if it was true.
Facts.
Even if it was true. If you're around people like that, cut them off. Get rid of them. Because half of this is who's around you. Half of it is who's around you. If you're around a bunch of I hate my job, that's the end of the world, women suck type of people, you're probably going to take on that view. An old man told me you can be around six you can show me 6 millionaires and 1 broke person. I can tell you who's about to be rich. You can show me 6 broke people and 1 millionaire. I'll tell you who's about to be broke. That's simple.
Bars.
So if a person keeps saying, well, dang, TB, I'm trying to message you and be cool with you and all that type of stuff, I pay attention to the climate. I've watched you jigabooing somewhere and I'm not letting it happen. No. Because I am an extremist. I'm a confessed, accused extremist. I don't see in shades of gray. I only see in black and white. And if you fall out of one of my shades, I'm going to get rid of you. It's that freaking simple. There's no other way to look at it. You can't smoke crack sometimes and say you're against drugs. You can't do it.
You ain't smoke no crack?
No. You can't womanize and then say, you believe in marriage. You can't keep going broke and then say, let me tell you about money management. You can't do it. You must be better. That's why I am so polarizing and people do not like me, is because the vices that they have, I do not blindly agree to them.
Can I have a sip of this and then just go jump in the truck?
Listen, jigabooing. Immediately. The fact that it's in the house, jigabooing.
Can I just want to take a quick sip?
And it's frosty cold, which means
that is.
Do you have a refrigerator down there?
Huh?
Do you have a refrigerator down there?
Huh?
Exactly. Jigaboo.
Yoda is a bad.
That's hilarious.
Yoda trying to act like he don't know nothing about it, but he was there too.
That's Grogu's, man. That's not mine. That's Grogu's.
So I'll be right back. My battery's dying on this rig.
Do your thing. My biggest thing is this. Me and the people in my circle may not agree all the time, but when we have conversations, it puts the thought in your brain. Half the time, it's about starting the conversation. The fact that we're even talking about it, and 2,000 people, according to my screen, has already listened to this. 2,000 people have that in their brain. And they're thinking about it when they wouldn't have been thinking about it before. We talk about going vegan. If they may not go vegan, but they're thinking about their weight. And before, they went months without thinking about it at all. It's just that simple thing which makes it valuable.
Why I keep going back to the vegan and weight and all that?
Listen, you're mixing alcohol, so I don't even know you're even talking right now. Like you're drunk. You're drunk right now. You're inebriated.
That's facts. When you eat cleaner, you think cleaner.
Come on, yo.
Now I'm drunk. Oh,
now you're drunk. Yeah. What is saying in the cards? Look, you're hysterical. You don't know what you're saying. You're out of here. That's why I want people. You can't say that you've been cool with me for a certain amount of months and nothing's changed. That's an impossibility because I keep track of what changes with you.
I was gonna be messy, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Exactly. He keep touching the mic. When I first met him, he had a ghetto mic with gold chains hanging around it. Now he has a real good mic. Do y'all remember that gold mic that sound like crap?
I got it right here. I don't feel like walking over there and grabbing it real quick.
I bet you don't.
I still got the gold mic.
Mike, for real? You did change your mic. I don't see the gold.
Yeah, where the gold in that?
Hey man, listen. You
look,
Trucker Brown.
Look, he got a going loop, a logo in the right corner of the screen. He has LED lights. He went to the memorabilia place and got a special jersey. Come on now, you're doing better.
I did not go to the memorabilia place.
Yes, he did. He definitely went. He went to Mission Less and got that. That's the memorabilia joint. That's like $250.
I hate this dude, man.
Exactly. And he didn't even get the one. This is where you slipped at. You didn't even get the one that has the non-reflective, so I can kind of see in your room.
I'm going to actually. I don't care about that. I'm not even going to be that picky. I hate that. I don't like it. You're absolutely right. I don't like the fact that it's reflective. But the only thing that I care about is it doesn't have the gold thing with the football card and all of that. I'm going to dress it up though. I'm actually making this plaque. This ain't something that I bought. I bought the frame. I had the jersey. So I'm all just putting it together, you know what I'm saying, with the help of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
But is that you on the TV screen in the background?
Mm-hmm. That's not. Listen,
whoever he is, that's a handsome guy, you know.
That's how they change.
I'm not even into guys, but if I was, that'd be the guy.
That's the clip that'll be in the coon circuit. Jeez.
Hey, I'm giving them free smoke, man. Let them have it.
Listen, people, I appreciate y'all for calling in. Thanks for calling in, Erica.
Thank you.
No problem. I appreciate y'all for calling in. Before I get out of here,
Erica, you got my number. Hit me up.
I want to stress this point. There are only two things. My value system changes as I assess what's going on. Right now, the two main things in my value system are loyalty and intelligence. That's it. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to be charismatic. You don't have to be any of those things. Is know how to do something when you come to the table.
When you're all of those things, though, oh God, listen, the world is your oyster.
Yeah, you can jigaboo with cognac under by your leg while you're doing a live about not doing drugs.
That was bro.
The point is,
that's Grogu's, bro.
The point is, things are going to get better. The conversations that you have here will affect the amount of money that you make and how good you do in the compounding years. That is the point. You don't watch me to make me famous. You watch me for a selfish freaking reason. That's why you watch me, because you need good information that helps you burn miles. That's why the show's name is Burning Miles. You've burned 4 hours sitting here watching to me with zero jigabooing, except for Messington. We couldn't stop that. That's who.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. That was
right. So you burned 4 hours listening to some relevant content based on your life and your career. That's the point. The rest of the shit does not matter. Okay, I got to put some money in the thing because I said that. Yeah. So I'm going to get on out of here. Don't do drugs. The game will be played on Burning Miles, Twitch, later on, I'm outie 5 thouty.